Chapter 1186. Everyone in the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect knew one fact, and that was that the few patriarchs who were in seclusion had not appeared for many years. Those few origin ancestor realm existences were the true foundation of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. Usually, no one dared to disturb their cultivation unless it was a critical moment. Normally speaking, as long as the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect was not facing a major crisis of destruction, no one would easily think of asking the patriarch to come out of seclusion. Elder Deng, we don't have to be too hasty. Let's first investigate the situation of the Bawang sect. Hearing what the old man said just now, Qiao Sanjia's face became more and more unsightly, but he still said patiently. There was a struggle within the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect, but he was still the sect master at this time. He had an extremely strong right to speak, and many elders would stand on his side. As expected, someone immediately spoke up for him. However, among Elder Deng and the others, there were also voices of opposition time and time again. In the main hall there was a long argument. For Qiao Sanjia, he did not want to invite the origin ancestor. Otherwise, he would definitely be the one to take the blame for the huge loss of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. As for the others, they only wanted to take this opportunity to pull Qiao Sanjia down and take over the position of sect master. This was an internal struggle, and outsiders could not participate in it. However, Qiao Sanjia was the master of a sect after all. His strength had also reached the peak of the 9th level of the Origin Emperor realm. He was extremely powerful. In the end, he made the final decision with absolute strength. He would first inquire about the details of the Bawang sect before deciding how to deal with it. However, this time could not be delayed for too long. Otherwise, with so many experts dying all of a sudden, the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect would not even let out a fart. There would definitely be endless gossip in the outside world. In the main hall, everyone finally parted on bad terms. Only Qiao Sanjia stayed behind. He kept pacing back and forth with a worried expression on his face. Qiao Sanjia knew very well that he could not suppress this matter for long. If there was no solution, those opposing elders would definitely stir up trouble. In a place less than 100 miles away from the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect, there was an extremely hidden cave in the forest. At this moment, Su Xiaoshui was standing at the entrance of the cave, watching the surroundings closely, not allowing anyone to approach. In the cave, a ball of light bloomed. A demonic but not evil aura was released, and it carried an incomparably vast pressure that filled the surroundings. This ball of light was Su Yi's mysterious space. At this moment, he was haggling with Grandpa Ginseng in the space. Boy, in order to help you treat this little girl, I consumed a large amount of my life essence Qi essence. Now you want to use me as bait to attract the enemy? Are you trying to send me to my death? The blood jade spirit Ginseng glared at Su Yi angrily. Grandpa Ginseng, I know what you're capable of. Although you're only at the demonic void stage, your ability to escape is definitely top-notch. I'm afraid that anyone below the Origin Ancestor realm would find it extremely difficult to capture you, let alone ordinary people. Xiao S. Xiao Xiao Xiaoxia Shuang Xiao S. Xiao. At Xiaoxiaxia Shuai Xiaoxiaxiako, Xiao Xiaozhen was to Xiao. To be escaped, Xiaoxiaxia Shuai Xiaoxiaxiaxioan Xiaoxioya Xiaoxioya, Xiao. Right now, Grandpa Ginseng had already successfully broken through to the demonic void tier, so his ability to flee was naturally much stronger than before. And Su Yi's plan was to let Grandpa Ginseng go out and attract the attention of the people of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan. This is too dangerous. If something goes wrong, I'm dead for sure. The blood jade spirit Ginseng said with a bitter face. He was good at running away, but his fighting strength was really trash. With the cultivation base of the monster illusionary stage, his battle prowess might not even be able to defeat a level 1 Yuan Zhen stage martial artist. In addition to the one I owed you last time, I'll add 2 more bottles of spirit liquid, Sui said as he extended 2 fingers. Brat, there's no room for negotiation, Blood Jade Ginseng said, but before it could finish, it was interrupted by Sui. I'll add 3 more bottles. Sui raised another finger. It's too dangerous. What if? The Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng shook its head. 4 more bottles, Sui said again. I don't think that's a good idea. It'll be bad if we meet a true expert. The Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng refused, but it frowned slightly. 5 more bottles. Sui extended all 5 fingers. Brat, you're making things difficult for me. The Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng sighed and was slightly moved. Then it settled. 5 more bottles of spirit liquid. Sui immediately said when he saw this, afraid that the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng would go back on its word. Brat, I haven't promised you yet. The Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng glared at Sui with dissatisfaction. However, in the next moment it suddenly shouted in panic, Hey, Brat, what are you doing? Put me down. Sui grabbed the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng's head and pulled it out of the ground. Then, as if he was carrying a big carrot, he started to walk out of the mysterious space. Brat, put me down, the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng shouted. Grandpa Ginseng, we've already agreed. This time, I'll rely on you to help me. As Sui spoke, he appeared in the middle of the cave, and the light of the mysterious space dissipated. Boss! Hearing the commotion, Su Xiaoshui flew in. There are disciples of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan not far away. I'll have to trouble you to go there. Sui placed the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng on the ground and said. The Heavenly Sun Astral Thunder Realm was set up not far away. He told Grandpa Ginseng the exact location. Sai, I don't know what sin I've committed. After obtaining some benefits from you, I always have to return them from other places. Grandpa Ginseng sighed endlessly. With a bitter face, it reluctantly burrowed into the ground and soon disappeared. Boss, this big carrot won't run away just like that, right? Su Xiaoshui stared and said worriedly. Needless to say, Sui also had the same worry. If the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng chose to escape, he really wouldn't be able to do anything. It shouldn't be. This old fellow is very smart. After a moment, Sui smiled and said, Grandpa Ginseng had obtained a lot of benefits from the mysterious space. Otherwise, he wouldn't have advanced so quickly. Sui also contributed to his breakthrough to the Demon Void Realm. Moreover, that old fellow was already at the 3rd level of the Demon Void Realm and was close to the 4th level. If he still wanted to break through to the Demon Emperor Realm, he would definitely choose to return to the mysterious space. In fact, Sui was also looking forward to it. He wanted to know what kind of ability Grandpa Ginseng would have after he reached the Demon Emperor Realm and took human form. Boss, let's go too. Su Xiaoshui didn't say much and only said this. All right. Sui nodded. Then, he used a disguise technique to change his appearance and headed into the forest to observe the situation. On this day, a secret news began to spread among a small number of Jade Tripod Alchemy clan disciples. We're rich, we're going to be rich. A Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng appeared in the nearby forest. It seems to have developed intelligence. What? A Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng that has developed intelligence. Is this true? It's definitely true. Junior brother Zhang saw it with his own eyes. It can't be fake. We're rich, we're really going to be rich. In a small circle, many people were overjoyed and excited. Many people knew the value of the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng. Even for an ordinary Origin Emperor Realm martial artist, they probably wouldn't be able to afford it even if they went bankrupt, let alone the kind that had developed intelligence. The Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng has almost no offensive power, but its ability to run away is top-notch. It won't be easy to catch it. However, amidst their excitement, there were also people who calmly began to analyze. This news must be kept a secret and get some reliable people to help. We must think of a way to catch the blood jade spirit ginseng. Many people began to take action, tightly covering this news, unwilling to spread it. About dozens of Jade Tripod Alchemy clan disciples walked into the forest, searching for the whereabouts of the blood jade spirit ginseng. These disciples were not weak, and many of them were at the Yuan-Zhen realm. A few hours later, they really found traces of the blood jade spirit ginseng, which made the group ecstatic. However, just as they were about to give chase, they saw an expert who looked to be in his 30s or 40s flying in the air, chasing after the blood jade spirit ginseng. Before leaving, this expert even slashed out a sword light, killing several Jade Tripod Alchemy clan disciples on the ground. At the same time, he said fiercely, "The blood jade spirit ginseng is mine. Those who still dare to chase after me die." After saying that, this expert quickly left and disappeared. As for the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan disciples, they were extremely terrified. Several of their companions had died just like that. Origin Void Realm Expert. That's an Origin Void Realm Expert, someone said with a trembling voice. He was so scared that he was about to pee his pants. To be able to fly in the void and instantly kill several Origin Void Realm Experts with a sword light, this was definitely an Origin Void Realm Expert. Moreover, it was probably in existence at the middle level of the Origin Void Realm. Go back, quickly go back to the sect and tell the elders and protectors. Someone's heart was filled with fear as he said with a trembling voice. Since an Origin Void Realm Expert had appeared, it was definitely not something they could interfere with. No matter how great the benefits were, it was not as important as their lives. They had to let an even more powerful expert appear. Don't be anxious. The disciple who had calmly come up with the idea earlier spoke again. There seems to be only one Origin Void Realm Expert. We don't need to be too loud for the time being. We only need to tell this matter to an elder. This way, after this elder snatches the blood jade spirit ginseng, he will be able to give us more benefits. When the surrounding people heard this, they felt that it made sense. Under the circumstances where there was no one else to divide it up, if that elder was happy, he would definitely give them more benefits. Then let's tell Elder He. Although he's not easy to get along with, he's very generous. He definitely won't treat us unfairly. Someone said. All right, then let's tell Elder He. Everyone agreed. With this thought in mind, the group quickly left the forest and went back to look for Elder He. Seeing these people disperse, the middle-aged Origin Void Realm Expert who had attacked earlier suddenly walked out from a corner of a bluestone. The first big fish is finally going to take the bait. This middle-aged man was Su Yi's disguise. He looked in the direction where the people of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan had disappeared, and his heart was filled with killing intent. Chapter 1187. That night, a skinny old man appeared nearby. Su Yi, who was hiding in the dark, did not act rashly. From the old man's body, he sensed the aura of the 5th level of the Origin Emperor realm. This was also an expert, and he was wearing the robe of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan. Thinking about it, this skinny old man should be Elder He. Boss, why don't I just go and kill him? Su Xiaoshuai's eyes became darker and deeper in the night as he sent a voice transmission to Su Yi. With his current cultivation, killing a 5th-level Origin Emperor Realm expert would not take too much effort. Don't act rashly. Let Grandpa Ginseng lure him into the heavenly Sun Thunder realm to kill him. We must not cause too much of a commotion. Otherwise, our efforts will not be of much use. Su Yi gently pressed Su Xiaoshuai down, not letting him make a move. The skinny old man moved stealthily in the darkness. Not long after, a disciple of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan let out a low cry in the distance, as if he had discovered traces of the blood jade spirit ginseng. Looking in the direction where the voice came from, Elder He quickly rushed over with boundless joy and joy. However, this kind of surprise directly turned into a vast mountain after a while, brazenly pressing down on his heart. It was heavy. "Who are you?" When Elder he entered a valley, a few figures appeared in front of him. Their bodies were emitting the aura of the demon race. They were endlessly powerful, causing him to feel fear. "The person who will take your life," a man in a green robe said softly. Then, he suddenly struck out with his palm and attacked Elder He's head. The terrifying green light seemed to want to split the world apart. It was extremely eye-catching in the night. Elder He's heart palpitated. Without thinking, he quickly fled. At the same time, he let out a whistling sound, wanting to attract the attention of the disciples of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan. However, in the next moment, with a sizzling sound, endless lightning suddenly covered the surroundings, blocking the whistling sound. At this moment, the green light had already descended and brazenly attacked Elder He's body. With a bang, Elder He was instantly sent flying. He vomited blood non-stop, and his aura instantly became dispirited. Then, an icy blue light appeared in the depths of his pupils and froze his body and soul in an instant, turning him into an ice sculpture. Too weak. The green-robed man who had attacked earlier kicked lightly, and the ice sculpture on the ground exploded into pieces. There are definitely many experts of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan. It's just that they haven't arrived yet. An extremely short old man and the others around him, they all nodded silently. These people were none other than the Green Emperor, Yang Ming, Yin Ming, and the Devouring Spirit Emperor. In addition, Lei Yunhe was currently in the center of the Heavenly Sun astral lightning boundary. Pretty good control. It didn't cause too much of a commotion, but it was able to finish off a 5th-level Origin Emperor. At this moment, Su Yi and Su Xiaoshui were observing everything from a distance. They saw that the Heavenly Sun astral thunder boundary's movements were concealed to the extreme. Even at night there was no movement. Su Yi was much more relieved because of this. The smaller the commotion, the smaller the chances of them being discovered. The more they could lure more experts of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan and then attack them. Little Commander, patrol the surroundings. Kill anyone who sees the Heavenly Sun astral thunder boundary at close range. Remember, don't leave any traces. Su Yi instructed and then rushed into the distance. "Boss, where are you going?" Su Xiaoshui asked as he looked at Su Yi's back. "It's too slow to only kill one Origin Emperor at a time. I have to go and do something." As his voice fell, Su Yi's figure gradually disappeared into the boundless night and forest. Su Xiaoshui did not chase after him. Instead, he followed Su Yi's instructions and patrolled the surroundings. The night slowly passed, and nothing major happened during the night. The next morning, the news about the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng had already spread through many people. For a time, many Origin Emperor realm experts of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan received this news. Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng. That's the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng. It's said that it has already developed intelligence and has even passed the initial tribulation. The Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng of the Demon Void Realm. Such a treasure must not be missed. Many Origin Emperors of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan were overjoyed. At the same time, at least a dozen elder-level existences walked out of the sect and stepped into the forest. They followed the traces of the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng in the news and began to search. In fact, this news was still a little tightly covered up. Everyone who knew about it was unwilling to let more people participate. They only felt that the fewer people who knew, the better. This way their chances would be greater. However, what they did not expect was that a pair of cold eyes had been secretly watching all of this. "Grandpa Ginseng, let's begin." Outside the valley, Su Yi said softly. "Sai, I really owe you, kid." Not far from Su Yi's feet, the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng sighed and directly drilled into the ground. Not long after, a smear of dark green appeared in front of a 6th-level Origin Emperor realm expert. It was traveling in the soil. Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng. The 6th-level Origin Emperor Realm expert immediately chased after it. Filled with excitement, he broke into a valley. As for the blood jade spirit ginseng, it once again wandered in the forest. It attracted another 2 Origin Emperor Realm experts and brought them into the valley. As time passed, in less than half a day, 7 or 8 Origin Emperors of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan were attracted by the blood jade spirit ginseng. Kill! Unlike the peace scene in the outside world, the real movement in the valley was directly isolated by a strange door, the illusory soul world. However, in the illusory soul world, thunder roared and blades shot in all directions. One after another, the Origin Emperor Realm experts who barged in were killed by the Green Emperor, Yang Ming, and the others at lightning speed. The strongest among them had even reached the 8th level of the Origin Emperor Realm. However, no one could hold on for 5 breaths because the Green Emperor and the others were too prepared. The hunt must not stop. While all of this was happening, Sui was not idle either. He continued to spread the news outside. As time passed, more and more experts of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan received the news. They could not help but be moved by a supreme treasure like the blood jade spirit ginseng. Such a treasure, even if one had enough prenatal stones, it was not something that could be bought just because one wanted to. In the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan, many Origin Emperor Realm experts once again walked out. In addition, there were also a large number of Origin Void Realm experts who wanted to try their luck. The entire Jade Tripod Alchemy clan was soon in an uproar. Almost everyone knew about the blood jade spirit ginseng. Great, a blood jade spirit ginseng actually appeared. On the main peak of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan, the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan sect master, Qiao Sanjia, who was dressed in a brocade robe and a tall crown, muttered to himself in incomparable surprise, "The heavens really do not bar one's way. Such a heavenly treasure actually appeared at such a time. If I can obtain that blood jade spirit ginseng, I can try to break through to the Origin Ancestor realm." Qiao Sanjia looked calm on the surface, but his heart was burning with passion. He had been at the 9th level of the Origin Emperor realm for a long time, but he was still unable to break through to the Origin Ancestor realm because he did not have enough confidence. But it was different now. If he had the blood jade spirit ginseng, he could give it a try boldly. There was definitely a high chance of success. If I step into the Origin Ancestor realm, a small Bawang sect can be destroyed with a flip of his hand. There's no need for the ancestor to come out of seclusion. Qiao Sanjia's eyes lit up as he muttered. After breaking through to the Origin Ancestor realm, not only could he get rid of the Bawang sect, but he could also shut the mouths of those enemy elders. It was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Sect Master, many elders have already been dispatched. They should be able to successfully capture the blood jade spirit ginseng. A middle-aged man beside Qiao Sanjia reported. No. Qiao Sanjia thought for a moment and could not help but shake his head. He said, "I have to make a trip personally. Inform the elders on our side to meet up with me as soon as possible." As he said that, he did not delay at all and directly flew out of the main peak. Qiao Sanjia was anxious. He absolutely could not afford to make any mistakes in this matter. Moreover, with his own strength, he might even be targeted by the enemy elders of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. If he could not obtain the blood jade spirit ginseng, then the situation would not be good. Almost all the big fish have been dispatched. After spreading the news, Sui returned to the vicinity of the valley again. He brought little handsome Su and hid in the dark to observe everything that happened. Dozens of Origin Emperors moved. This was probably the majority of the experts of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. With so many experts searching in the surroundings at the same time, Sui also felt some pressure. The previous first batch of less than 10 people had already been cleaned up by the Green Emperor and the others. This second batch was a little more than usual. Fortunately, with the illusory soul world, Su-Yi still had a lot of confidence. I've already killed more than 10 Origin Emperors. There are about 20 Origin Emperors left in the surroundings. There shouldn't be many left in the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. Su-Yi estimated all of this in his heart. Then, he led little handsome Su into the valley. He followed the guidance of the array map and gathered with the Green Emperor and the others. Master. The Beast Emperors bowed. Su-Yi nodded and took out a large saber from his space bag. He held it in his hand and said coldly, "Many people from the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect have disappeared one after another. This matter can't go on. Therefore, I've told Grandpa Ginseng that I'll get him to bring the remaining people into the valley as soon as possible. Everyone, get ready. Don't let anyone who barges into this place go." "Yes, Master." Green Emperor and the others replied in unison. Hula. Not long after they finished speaking, an expert of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect barged in from another direction. In an instant, a bolt of lightning struck out and completely dragged him into the heavenly sun thunder realm. Green Emperor and the others quickly surrounded him and killed him in a few moves. Swoosh, swoosh, another 2 figures came. Thunder and lightning rumbled in the heavenly sun thunder realm, shaking endlessly. A few Beast Emperors ran around and unleashed ferocious killing moves, killing the 2 of them one after another. Chapter 1188. Kid, there are too many people outside. I can't hold on any longer. At this moment, the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng entered the Heavenly Sun Astral Thunder Realm and hurriedly said to Su-Yi. This huge radish was currently panting with its hands on its waist in a very human-like manner. It was very tired. "Have all the people been brought in?" Su-Yi looked at the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng and hurriedly asked. He knew very well that it was not easy for Master Ginseng to escape under the encirclement of so many experts outside. If he continued to swagger around outside, he might really be captured. "They're here." Many people saw them enter the valley. "They'll arrive in a moment," the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng said. "Good. Thank you for your hard work." Su-Yi nodded and immediately opened the mysterious space to let the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng enter. As for the rest, they had to rely on themselves. "Elder Lei, I'll leave the Heavenly Sun Astral Thunder Realm to you for the time being. You must hold on and wait for us to return." Su-Yi suddenly raised his head and said to the void, "Don't worry, Sect Master. As long as no one too strong comes, it won't be a problem to hold them back." Lei Yunhe's voice sounded in Su-Yi's ears. He sat in the center and controlled a large number of prenatal stones to control the Heavenly Sun Astral Thunder Realm. Compared to Merciless West, Lei Yunhe's level was still much lower. If he really controlled it, the power of the illusory soul world could not even be blocked by a half-step Origin Grandmaster. However, even if 20 to 30 ordinary Origin Emperors entered at the same time, he would definitely be able to hold them back and even kill them one by one. Green Emperor Yang Ming, Yin Ming, Spirit-Devouring Emperor, Little Commander, let's go. After hearing Lei Yunhe's words, Su-Yi suddenly waved his hand and quickly soared into the sky with a few Beast Emperors. The few of them were divided into 2 groups. Su-Yi, Little Commander Su, and Green Emperor were in one group. Yang Ming, Yin Ming, and Spirit-Devouring Emperor were in the other group. They began to search around the valley. They watched as the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect's Origin Emperor Realm experts rushed into the valley. Their eyes were filled with coldness, but they did not directly attack. As they observed, Su-Yi and the others realized that 17 to 18 Origin Emperors had entered the Sky Sun Astral Thunder World. Among them, there was even a 9th-level Origin Emperor Realm Elder. As for the remaining 5 or 6 people, none of them immediately entered the valley. There's an old man there who seems to have noticed something. As Su-Yi and the other 2 searched, they saw a gray-haired old man floating in the air. This person quietly stared in the direction of the valley, frowning as if he felt that something was wrong. "Kill him! Let's end this quickly!" Su-yi shouted, and the demonic god battle armor appeared. He held the sabers with both hands and attacked. Su Xiaoshui and the Green Emperor made their move as well. At the same time, they leaped into the air from the forest and charged towards the old man. "Who are you?" The old man woke up very quickly and couldn't help but shout. He leaped up and wanted to escape. However, it was already too late. Little handsome Su used his speed and caught up to him in an instant. He opened his mouth and spat out a terrifying flame, sealing off the old man's escape route. "Kill!" Green light surged in Green Emperor's hand and instantly condensed into a long spear. He shook his hand and threw it straight at the old man's chest. Following closely behind was Su-yi's large saber. These attacks came very suddenly, catching the old man off guard. He hurriedly threw out a fist mark and barely managed to deal with it. However, the fist mark was instantly destroyed by Green Emperor's long spear. In the next moment, Su-yi's large saber had already descended. Behind him, blazing flames also swept down from the sky and enveloped him in an instant, making it impossible for him to escape. "Die!" Green Emperor exploded once again. One of his legs was like a long whip as he ruthlessly swung it at the old man's body. Pfft! The old man spat out a mouthful of blood. Then, a large saber attacked again and directly cut open his chest. For a moment, blood gushed out crazily. The old man screamed. Green Emperor's eyes were sharp and his hands were fast. He broke his throat with a punch. Walala, little handsome Su's wings flapped out raging flames, enveloping the old man's decadent body and instantly burning him to ashes. "Let's go next." Su-yi waved his hand and led the two of them away quickly. Their goal of walking out of the heavenly sun astral thunder realm was very simple. It was to find these experts who had not entered the valley to prevent them from escaping after sensing the existence of the heavenly sun astral thunder realm. This was something that Su-yi could not accept. As long as they were at the origin emperor realm, he would not let any of them go. The people of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan all deserved to die. As long as they came to the vicinity of the valley, there was no reason for them to escape. "Kill!" On the other side, Yang Ming, Yin Ming, and the spirit-devouring emperor also moved extremely quickly. In just a short while, they had killed an origin emperor realm expert. In addition, there were also many disciples of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan who were also killed by them. Among them, there were a few origin void realm experts. Su-yi, Little Handsome Su, Green Emperor, Yang Ming, and the others carried out a large sweep outside the valley. With the speed of lightning, they continuously attacked and killed the people of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan. In fact, the valley was very small. With the cultivation of these people, they could complete their patrol in an extremely short period of time. Therefore, none of the people of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan who appeared nearby could escape death. Returned to the Heavenly Sun Astral Thunder Realm. After settling everything, Su-yi, Green Emperor, and the others once again returned to the Heavenly Sun Astral Thunder Realm. There were nearly 20 Origin Emperor Realm experts who had entered at the same time. However, under the control of Lei Yunhe, most of them were instantly isolated in different spaces. These experts of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan quickly realized that the situation was not good. They understood that they had all fallen into the strange Gate Soul world. Terrifying attacks descended one after another. Endless lightning roared and devoured their lives. However, what was even more terrifying was still to come. Several powerful emperors rushed out and carried out a bloody massacre on them. In the end, many people could think that there was definitely someone manipulating all of this behind the scenes. Since they are enemies of our Bawang sect, they must have long been prepared to die. Cold words came out of the mouths of Green Emperor and the others. They carried out a crazy attack. One Origin Emperor realm expert after another quickly fell. In addition, there were many other disciples of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan. Some of the disciples of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan knew the truth of the matter before they died. They could not help but become even more terrified, and their eyes widened. "Master, it's cleaned up." Not long after, Green Emperor and the others gathered beside Su-Yi again and said, "With the help of the Heavenly Sun Astral Thunder World, killing these people of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan was as easy as flipping his hand. Elder Lei, how are you?" Su-Yi followed the instructions of the array diagram and arrived at the center of the strange gate soul world. He looked at the old figure on the stone platform and asked, "I'm fine. It's just that my soul force is almost exhausted." Lei Yunhe waved his hand, indicating that he was fine. Deep exhaustion could be seen between his brows, and his sunken eye sockets looked even more serene than before. "Elder Lei, you should recover. You don't need to make a move for the time being, but there might be a big battle later." Su-Yi handed Lei Yunhe a bottle of spiritual liquid. He was not stingy at all. In fact, he did not have many bottles of spiritual liquid left on him. Every bottle he used was one less bottle. Now, he still owed Impermanence Fairy and the Blood Jade Ginseng a total of more than 10 bottles. "Thank you, Sect Master." Lei Yunhe looked at Su-Yi gratefully and said respectfully, "The news here definitely can't be hidden. Once the true experts of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan find out, they will definitely charge over." "Boss, aren't we going to retreat now?" Handsome Su asked. "There's no rush." Su-Yi shook his head. His entire body emitted a strong killing intent as he said, "The true Origin Ancestor Realm experts shouldn't appear for the time being. Let's wait a little longer. Perhaps there will be Origin Emperor Realm experts coming." Green Emperor and the others nodded when they heard this. Then, they left the Heavenly Sun Astral Thunder World again and began to patrol the surroundings of the valley. This time, they did not go through any intense battles. In just 1 or 2 days, they had killed dozens of Jade Tripod Alchemy clan's Origin Emperor Realm experts, one after another. Such a result made Su-Yi very satisfied. The most important thing was that all of this was carried out very secretly. There was almost no news leaked out. As for the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan, they had yet to react. As expected, there are still experts coming. While Su-Yi and the others were patrolling, they discovered a figure flying over from the sky. His aura was powerful. The person who came was a middle-aged man. He wore a tall crown and a brocade robe. He had the dignity of a superior. This person is not simple. He is at least at the 9th level of the Origin Emperor realm. Be careful. Green Emperor was beside Su-Yi and transmitted his voice to him. They hid in the dark and restrained all their auras. They were not in a hurry to make a move. "I'll lure him into the valley." Su-Yi thought for a moment. After circling around a mountain ridge, he suddenly rushed out. At this moment, he was wearing the clothes of an ordinary Jade Tripod Alchemy clan disciple. He also looked like a young man of 24 or 25 years old. His aura was suppressed to the 1st or 2nd level of the Origin True Realm. "Kid, are you a disciple of my Jade Tripod Alchemy clan?" The middle-aged man quickly saw Su-Yi and could not help but shout at him. The pressure of the Origin Emperor realm descended from his body. "Yes, yes. I am a disciple of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan." Su-Yi pretended to be terrified, as if he was intimidated by the middle-aged man's aura. He stammered, "Very good." The middle-aged man nodded and said, "Then let me ask you, do you know the approximate location of the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng that appeared nearby?" He stared at Su-Yi and naturally spoke in a condescending manner. "So, this person is the sect master of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan, Qiao Sanjia." Su-Yi lowered his head. A hint of coldness flashed across his eyes as he sneered in his heart. It was difficult for this person's cultivation to be so powerful that he had reached the 9th level of the Origin Emperor realm. The sect master of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan had actually come personally. Since that was the case, he could not let him off easily. Sect master, I don't know. Su-yi still had his head lowered as he said respectfully, I only know that all the elders have entered that valley. It seems that the blood jade spirit ginseng escaped there. The valley not far from his finger was the place where the heavenly sun astral thunder world was set up. It was also the place where many experts of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan died. Chapter 1189. Valley. Qiao Sanjia looked towards the valley. There was no movement coming from there, which made him feel a little surprised. However, he didn't think too much about it and flew towards the valley alone. Qiao Sanjia urgently wanted to obtain the blood jade spirit ginseng. It would be of great help to him in breaking through to the origin ancestor realm. If he went too late and fell into the hands of the opposing elders, he wouldn't be able to obtain it. He took the bait. Seeing the middle-aged man's figure getting closer and closer to the valley, the sneer in Su-yi's heart grew stronger and stronger. That was the sect master of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan. As long as he stepped into the valley, he would become a turtle in a jar and would definitely not be able to escape death. If the sect master of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan died here, the entire Jade Tripod Alchemy clan would probably go crazy. Su-yi thought so in his heart. After this, other than the true foundation of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan, there would definitely not be many of their core forces left. Imperceptibly, the Green Emperor, Yang Ming, Yin Ming, Su Xiaoshui, and the spirit-devouring Emperor also began to surround the valley from afar. As long as the Heavenly Sun Thunder Realm was activated, they would immediately join forces to kill the middle-aged man. However, when Qiao Sanjia was less than 100 feet away from the valley, he suddenly stopped and turned his head to look in Su-yi's direction again. Brat, are you sure that the elders have really entered this valley? Did anyone go anywhere else? Qiao Sanjia asked with a frown. In the dark, he only felt that something was wrong, but he couldn't put his finger on it. There was a strange uneasiness in his heart, so he asked again. I don't know. I only know that many elders have entered the valley. As for the others, I don't know. Su-yi immediately shook his head, still looking very nervous. Qiao Sanjia nodded slightly and then asked, Kid, which peak are you from? Who is your master? Su-yi's heart skipped a beat, and he felt a strong sense of helplessness. He wasn't a disciple of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan, so he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't answer this question at all. So many elders of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect had died in the Heavenly Sun Thunder Realm, but Su-yi did not know any of them, nor did he know any of their names. However, Su-yi did not panic. Instead, his expression became much more relaxed. He actually took the initiative to walk towards Qiao Sanjia. He raised his head and looked at the other party. As he walked, he said, Sect Master, I am not the disciple of any of the elders. As he spoke, he actually seemed to be holding his head high and his chest out. Seeing this, Qiao Sanjia couldn't help but frown. In the dark, the Green Emperor, Yang Ming, Yin Ming, the Devouring Spirit King, and Handsome Su were attacking from the outside at the same time. Everyone was holding their breaths. Su-yi spoke very slowly, almost enunciating every word. Sect Master, you may not know, but I am actually... He paused for a moment, but Qiao Sanjia's ears perked up. However, in the next moment, Qiao Sanjia saw several cold lights shooting out from the dense forest on both sides, pouncing straight at him. The young disciple's words finally fell. I am the sect master of the Bawang sect, Su-yi. Such words, accompanied by a biting cold killing intent, suddenly descended. Green Emperor, Yang Ming, Yin Ming, the Devouring Spirit King, Handsome Su, and Su-yi pounced out at the same time, charging towards Qiao Sanjia. It seemed that it was impossible to trick the other party into the valley, so they could only suppress him with their strength. All of a sudden, a huge snake's body danced in the void, letting out a woo-woo cry, which was extremely terrifying. On the snake's body, there was a golden dragon phantom moving around, as if it could suppress all living things, mighty and domineering. In addition, 2 huge flood dragons, one black and one white, were entrenched. They intertwined with each other and shot out 2 black and white pillars of light, ferociously attacking. The devouring Spirit King also transformed into the main body of the Ice Marrow Spirit devouring bug. His soul attack instantly spread out, as if it could suppress all living things. Handsome Su spat out flames from his mouth, and a terrifying power spread out, burning everything in the sky. Seeing these terrifying attacks coming at him like a tsunami, Qiao Sanjia was stunned for a moment. This scene was too sudden, and it was unexpected. Sui, Bawang sect, it's you. However, in the blink of an eye, Qiao Sanjia realized what had happened. Turned out that these people were from the Bawang sect. They had actually come to the vicinity of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. And what did that kid say just now? Many elders of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect had entered the valley? Could it be that there was a trap set up by them in the valley? Qiao Sanjia immediately figured out the answer to this question. Bawang sect, how dare you? Such a loud shout came from Qiao Sanjia's mouth. They had yet to find trouble with the Bawang sect, but these people were actually so bold as to take the initiative to provoke the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. After shouting, Qiao Sanjia did not have time to think anymore. Facing the terrifying attacks of the beast emperors that blotted out the sky and covered the earth, Qiao Sanjia shook his hand and threw out an item. It expanded in the air and instantly turned into the size of a small mountain. This was a large cauldron. It was made of jade and was overflowing with light. As soon as it appeared, it instantly enveloped Qiao Sanjia's body. Boom! The attacks of the Green Emperor and the others all struck the jade cauldron, causing it to tremble violently. Qiao Sanjia, who was in the jade cauldron, instantly swallowed his saliva and almost vomited blood. His face instantly turned pale. As in existence at the peak of the 9th level of the Origin Emperor realm, he instantly felt powerless in the face of so many beast emperors attacking at the same time. If not for the jade cauldron, he would have been severely injured in the first exchange. Kill him! The Green Emperor shouted coldly. The huge snake body moved again, and the snake tail slammed down fiercely. The jade cauldron was sent flying again, emitting a heavy rumbling sound that crushed the void. The remaining beast emperors also moved and launched a crazy attack. Good. Very good. Bawang sect, you guys are really arrogant. Qiao Sanjia was in the jade cauldron. His eyes were filled with rage as he shouted loudly. He was really furious. The Bawang sect's actions were too arrogant, making him extremely angry. The one who is arrogant is your Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. The beast emperors responded coldly, and a new round of attacks descended. Su Xiaoshuai's flames burned fiercely like a terrifying waterfall, wanting to swallow Qiao Sanjia. However, these flames were blocked by the jade cauldron. Kill! Yang Ming and Yin Ming both roared. The 2 pillars of light seemed to connect the heavens and the earth as they fiercely collided with the jade cauldron, causing a huge shock. However, they could not really shake it. This jade cauldron was a supreme treasure. It was the token of the sect master of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. It was extremely extraordinary and forcefully blocked the ferocious attacks of a few beast emperors. However, under the huge shock, he was not having an easy time. His expression became more and more unsightly, and the aura on his body was also trembling. Among them, what Qiao Sanjia was most afraid of was the short beast emperor's ice attack, which could freeze a person's soul. Bawang sect, you must pay the price. Qiao Sanjia shouted. The vitality in his body was boiling like clouds. It was incomparably terrifying. Rumble, in the midst of this, The huge cauldron began to emit a terrifying rumble, as if there was an earthquake. Under Qiao Sanjia's control, the huge cauldron took the initiative to fly out and fiercely collided with the snake tail of the Green Emperor. Boom! Accompanied by a monstrous shock, the two of them flew backward at the same time. An invisible wave of air surged out, pushing in all directions and sweeping everything away. Outside the valley below, countless trees and hills were blown away by this wave of air and turned into dust. Ugh! The Green Emperor let out a muffled groan. Its body flew backward for 1,000 feet before it stopped. Blood dripped from the snake tail, and its scales were cracked. However, its body was still imposing. On the other hand, Qiao Sanjia directly spat out a mouthful of blood. He had suffered quite a serious injury. He looked at the huge-sounding serpent opposite him in shock, and his heart beat fiercely. What a powerful beast emperor! Qiao Sanjia could not believe that the beast emperor had only suffered some superficial injuries when he activated the Jade Cauldron to fight against the enemy. Since you're here, leave your life behind. At this time, 2 flood dragons, one white and one black, swept across the sky. The black and white lights were released and shook the sky as if they had been stirred up in an instant. Qiao Sanjia's eyelids twitched uncontrollably. After a few simple exchanges, he seemed to have understood why the third elder, Elder Li, Elder Yen, and the others he had sent out had all died in front of the Overlord sect. With the existence of these powerful beast emperors and the merciless West, he would definitely suffer a great loss if he was careless. Bawang sect, you will definitely regret what you have done today. Qiao Sanjia shouted sternly. He poured his primordial qi into the Jade Cauldron, and the entire Jade Cauldron shone brightly. It flew directly into the sky and flashed into the distance at an extremely fast speed. You want to run away? It's not that easy. Yang Ming's voice came out. 2 black and white light beams fell at the same time, like 2 mountains hitting the huge Jade Cauldron together. Boom! The entire Jade Cauldron was smashed and rolled away. More than half of the light on it was annihilated in an instant. Qiao Sanjia, who was in the middle of it, felt his chest tremble, and his chest felt stuffy. Leave your life here. The Green Emperor attacked again. Amidst the endless green light, layers of mystical golden light were released. Accompanied by a vast pressure, it fiercely suppressed Qiao Sanjia's body. Roar! A dragon's roar reverberated in the void, reverberating throughout the world, causing people to be in a trance. Qiao Sanjia was shocked. These beast emperors were extremely powerful. Not only were the Ming snake and the 2 dragons terrifying, but he also had to endure the soul attack of the frost qi at all times. He was no match for them at all when he was outnumbered. Now, there was only one thing he needed to do, and that was to run. Without much time to think, Qiao Sanjia activated the huge Jade Cauldron again and continued to flee into the distance. Rumble! The Green Emperor swept the Jade Cauldron with his snake tail again, sending it flying again. Qiao Sanjia did not dare to stay any longer. He only cared about running for his life. The cultivation of the 9th level of the Origin Emperor realm erupted. All of his primordial qi was mobilized and channeled into the huge cauldron as he fled frantically. Chase! Don't let him escape! Chapter 1190. Qingyang, Yang Ming, Yin Ming, the spirit-devouring emperor, and Su Xiaoshui all chased after him at the same time. A terrifying attack was launched, tearing the sky and splitting the earth, shattering everything, and sweeping across the 8 wastelands. Qiao Sanjia gritted his teeth and looked back from time to time, but he did not dare to slow down in the slightest. With such 5 powerful beast emperors joining forces, if not for the huge Jade Cauldron protecting him, he would probably have died a few times by now. Boom, boom, boom! The loud sound spread throughout the forest like rolling thunder, trembling without end. The surrounding dozens of miles were alarmed. The weak barbaric beasts that appeared fled in panic. There were also many disciples of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect who were searching for the blood jade spirit ginseng everywhere. They looked at the sky with panic. "We can't hide anymore." Elder Lei prepared to retreat. Su-yi watched the battle get further and further away. He could not help but enter the heavenly sun thunder realm and say to Lei Yunhe, "Yes, sect master." Lei Yunhe nodded, his heart filled with incomparable shock. Su-yi had said that he wanted to set up a strange soul world near the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. At that time, no one knew what he was going to do. But now Lei Yunhe, who had personally participated in it, was shocked to the extreme. Dozens of Jade Tripod Alchemy sect's origin emperors were unknowingly tricked into this place by this young man in front of him and were all killed. If Qiao Sanjia had not been cautious, he would have probably died by now. If such a result of the battle were to spread to the outside world, the entire Chaos region would definitely be stirred up by this young man again. Even the entire 6 continents, 3 continents and 1 sea would be shocked and horrified. "Let's go." Su-yi searched the heavenly sun thunder realm and picked up a few good weapons. Then, he soared into the sky and chased after Green Emperor and the others. Lei Yunhe looked at the young man's figure for a long time with a complicated expression on his face. In his deep eye sockets, his pair of terrifying eyes were also suffused with a strange luster. After a while, Lei Yunhe turned around and tidied up a little in the heavenly sun thunder realm. Then, he stepped into the air and left. In the air, the chase and escape battle continued. Qiao Sanjia stood up straight, his yuan qi surging madly. Outside his body, the huge jade cauldron rumbled and crushed the void. Its mighty force was monstrous, and it crushed out circles of faint ripples in space. Boom boom, the attacks of the Green Emperor, the Yin-Yang Hell Flood Dragon, the Devouring Spirit Emperor, and Su Xiaoshui crashed into the Jade Cauldron again and again, creating earth-shattering booms. Most of the attacks were deflected. Yang Ming and Yang Ming had already merged, and their strength had increased tremendously. They were now comparable to a half-step origin ancestor. PFFF, under the terrifying bombardment, Qiao Sanjia's qi was in turmoil. He spat out mouthfuls of blood. His face was as pale as a dead man's. "Run!" Qiao Sanjia's eyes were as deep as water. He gritted his teeth and looked in the direction of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect before running away. Right now, the only way to survive was to return to the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. There were still some experts guarding there. Other than that, there were also a few Origin Ancestor Realm Patriarchs who were in seclusion. With the strength of the people from the Bawang sect, they definitely wouldn't dare to step foot on the mountain gate of the Jade Tripod sect. "Do you still want to escape?" The Green Emperor and the others saw through his thoughts and couldn't help but attack even more fiercely. The few beast emperors moved with all their might, smashing the huge jade cauldron into the air time and time again. Qiao Sanjia, who was inside, was getting more and more injured and was getting weaker and weaker. The battle was terrifying. In a short period of time, they had traveled dozens of miles. And the continuous mountain range that belonged to the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect was already in sight. "You won't be able to escape." The huge Yin-Yang Hell Flood Dragon's body stretched across the sky like a bolt of black and white lightning. In an instant, it crossed an extremely long distance and blocked Qiao Sanjia's escape route. At the same time, the might of a golden dragon was emitted from the Yin-Yang Hell Flood Dragon's body. Accompanied by a vast golden light, it suddenly struck the jade cauldron. Almost at the same time, the Green Emperor's snake tail, which was blooming with boundless strength, struck the jade cauldron from behind. The two powerful beast emperors, one in front and one behind, attacked fiercely. Boom! An earth-shaking explosion shook the heavens and the earth, and space trembled. At the point of impact, a ball of incomparably resplendent light exploded, as if a scorching sun had exploded. The destructive aura was vast and mighty in all directions, stirring up tens of thousands of waves of domineering aura. Two figures, one snake and one flood dragon, flew out from the air wave and hurriedly retreated to dodge. In the end, they each landed in the distance. They were the Green Emperor, Yang Ming and Yin Ming. At the center of the battle, as the endless light dissipated, a huge jade cauldron appeared. It swayed as if it was about to fall from the sky. Qiao Sanjia was inside. His entire body was stained with blood, and his aura was weak. He was heavily injured and could not move. "I already said that you can't escape." These words came from the Green Emperor's mouth in the distance, carrying an extremely cold intent. He, Yang Ming, and Yin Ming all transformed into their human forms and quickly surrounded the jade cauldron. Qiao Sanjia almost had no strength to resist, so they could capture him in one fell swoop. Buzz buzz, the giant cauldron floated in the void. As the three beast emperors got closer and closer, it was even more suppressed. Suddenly, a blood-red light burst out from the jade cauldron and shot straight into the sky. Following that, the entire cauldron was dyed in a mournful crimson color, as if it had been smeared with blood. A mysterious force rose and filled the air, causing it to tremble. Swish, suddenly, the Green Emperor, Yang Ming, and Yin Ming's vision blurred. The blood-red cauldron pierced through the sky and rushed out of the encirclement of the three beast emperors. In the blink of an eye, it was thousands of feet away. Its speed was astonishing. The three beast emperors were stunned for a moment. They did not know how the jade cauldron could suddenly erupt with such power. Su Xiaoshui and the devouring spirit emperor, who had rushed over, also did not understand. However, they could figure out one thing. Qiao Sanjia must have activated some kind of secret technique, combined with the power of the jade cauldron, and suddenly escaped when everyone was unprepared. Bawang's sect, all of you will not be able to escape death. A low and weak but loud voice sounded in the void. It came from Qiao Sanjia. He activated the crimson jade cauldron, and its speed became faster and faster. His eyes were filled with deep hatred as he stared in the direction of the Green Emperor and the others. "Chase!" The Green Emperor roared. The few beast emperors condensed their huge auras again and began to chase. Qiao Sanjia was not far from death. If they let him go at this time, it would be tantamount to letting a tiger return to the mountain. The chase began again in the sky. However, this time, the speed of the Green Emperor and the others could not really catch up to the Jade Cauldron. Seeing that they were getting closer and closer to the mountain gate of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect, once they really broke into their sphere of influence, it would cause huge trouble. Therefore, the Green Emperor and the others were also a little anxious. However, at this moment, on the path of Qiao Sanjia's escape, a large number of remnant souls suddenly gathered and instantly condensed into a bone dragon that stretched out like a mountain range. Roar! The bone dragon let out a roar. The dragon raised its head and directly collided with the huge cauldron outside Qiao Sanjia's body. Boom, boom, boom. The huge bone dragon began to shatter inch by inch from the dragon's head and turned into nothingness. A loud sound shook the sky. However, at the same time, the speed of the huge cauldron's flight was also directly blocked. When the entire bone dragon completely disappeared, the blood-red color on the huge cauldron instantly retreated. All the light also disappeared. It directly fell from the sky and slowly shrank. A palm caught the jade cauldron and held it in his hand. The owner of the palm was an old man. Lord Merciless West. The Green Emperor, Yang Ming, and Yin Ming were all stunned for a moment before surprise and joy surged out of their faces. They did not expect that Merciless West would actually appear at this time. At the critical moment of chasing after Qiao Sanjia, he summoned a powerful bone dragon and instantly killed Qiao Sanjia in the Jade Cauldron. "Boss Merciless West, why are you here?" Su Xiaoshui and the spirit-devouring emperor also flew over and asked. We'll talk about this later. Where's Sui? Merciless West waved his hand and said as he put away the jade cauldron. Master is still in the direction of the heavenly sun astral thunder boundary. The Green Emperor said. Let's go. Merciless West did not say anything and rushed in the direction of the phantom spirit boundary that was originally set up. Dozens of miles passed quickly. Finally, halfway through, they finally saw Sui and Lei Yunhe. Big brother! Seeing Merciless West here, Sui could not help but raise his eyebrows in surprise. After Big Brother set up the heavenly sun astral thunder boundary, he went straight back to the mine. Why did he rush back now? Could it be that something big had happened? Thinking of this, Sui could not help but ask, Big Brother, did something happen in the mine? However, Merciless West chuckled and waved his hand. Don't worry, the mine is fine. Seeing him like this, Sui was truly relieved. It seemed that he was thinking too much. Kid, you shouldn't be able to hide this time. The remaining people of the Jade Tripod sect will definitely react quickly. It's very likely that an Origin Ancestor Realm expert will appear. What are your plans? Merciless West was not in a hurry to explain his purpose for coming here. He only asked Sui like this. Boss, should we hide for a while? Handsome Su said. Sui pondered for a moment and said, We can't hide. It wasn't easy for our Bawang sect to establish the foundation. If we hide like this, all our previous efforts will be wasted. Only a few of us will be left. We will continue to hide everywhere. Hearing his words, everyone fell silent. This was indeed true. The Bawang sect had already recruited thousands of disciples with the momentum that they had gained in the past. Everything was gradually on the right track. If they fled because of the Jade Tripod sect, then all their efforts would be in vain. Moreover, even if they fled, where could they escape to? Above the 6 continents, 3 continents, and 1 sea, only the Chaos region was the most suitable place to stay. Could it be that they would always be cowards? This was definitely something that Sui could not accept. Big brother, what do you think? Sui asked. Ha ha. Chapter 1191. Merciless West knew Sui too well. Not only was this kid very shrewd, but he was also not someone who was afraid of trouble. At this moment, he already knew that the Jade Tripod sect had lost a large number of Origin Emperor Realm experts in the past few days. This was a shocking matter. Merciless West himself also took a fancy to Sui's ability to be brave and resourceful. He knew that this kid was extraordinary. Otherwise, he wouldn't have become sworn brothers with him step by step. With the current strength of our Bawang sect, even if an Origin Ancestor Realm appears, it's not like we can't fight against them. Sui thought for a moment and said, All right, let's not talk about this anymore. Merciless West waved his hand again and said, I came here this time to use your space. Big brother, do you have something to do? Sui asked. You'll know in a few days. Kid, don't dawdle. Time is of the essence. Let me in first, Merciless West said. Sui's curiosity was piqued when he heard this. However, Merciless West told him not to ask, so Sui didn't ask anymore. He directly led the group to land in the air and found a slightly hidden place to open the mysterious space, sending his big brother in. Before Sui came out, Merciless West told him that Xiao Sanjia's jade tripod was somewhat extraordinary. It was at least at the level of a magic artifact, so he directly took it. Sui didn't have any objections to this. Let's go. Back to the mine. After doing all this, the crowd moved together and rushed toward the mine as fast as they could. After the general description of Green Emperor and the others, Sui also knew that the sect master of the Jade Tripod sect, Xiao Sanjia, was already dead. He was killed by Merciless West. Fortunately, his big brother came in time. Otherwise, Xiao Sanjia might have really escaped. After this time, there shouldn't be many Origin Emperors left in the Jade Tripod sect, right? Green Emperor and the others sneered. They didn't even dare to imagine such an outcome. Speaking of which, it was all because Su-Yi was bold. He actually dared to lure and kill the other party's experts one by one under the nose of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. In this way, the number of Origin Emperor Realm experts in the entire Jade Tripod Alchemy sect might not even be comparable to ordinary third-rate forces. What's more, even their sect leader had died here. Go back and prepare well. There might be a terrifying battle of life and death coming up. Su-Yi's eyes darkened as he spoke. The Jade Tripod Alchemy sect's vitality was greatly damaged, and it would definitely alarm the experts in the sect. The Bawang sect should be able to deal with them by relying on the Phantom World. However, Su-Yi was not a pedantic person. If the enemy was too strong and they really couldn't do anything, he would definitely find a way to lead the Bawang sect away. As Su-Yi and the others left, more and more people began to gather in the surrounding forest. They were still people from the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. At the same time, a terrifying news spread like a plague. Sect Master. The Sect Master is dead. I saw him get killed. Amidst the boundless fear, a disciple of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect said in a panic. Bawang sect. It's the people of the Bawang sect. They killed the Sect Master. Seeing that there was more than one person fighting in the sky, many people came out to move around, wanting to find the legendary Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng. However, not everyone went to the vicinity of the valley and was killed in the Heavenly Sun Thunder Realm. Many of these lucky survivors witnessed the fierce battle later and even heard the Sect Master mention the Bawang sect. At the same time, they saw a few powerful beast emperors stirring up the wind and thunder that filled the sky. Elder He is gone, Elder Lai is gone, and Elder Qi is gone. Many elders have disappeared. After they entered the valley, they never came out again. Soon, such a situation was discovered by everyone again, causing all the disciples of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect to be scared silly. After carefully counting, dozens of Origin Emperor Realm Elders, dozens of Origin Void Realm Protectors, and a large number of Jade Tripod Alchemy sect disciples were all chasing after the traces of the Blood Jade Spirit Ginseng. After entering the valley, no one appeared again. There's a strange gate illusory soul world there. Soon, when the group of people tried to approach the valley to investigate, a bolt of lightning appeared, and the few people walking in front disappeared. The disciples of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect finally realized that there was a strange gate illusory soul world in the valley, and it was still operating. Quick, report to the other elders in the sect. The disciples of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect saw hope and quickly rushed back to the sect. They were praying that things would not be so bad. They hoped that the many elders, protectors, and others who had barged into the strange gate illusory soul world were still alive and could be rescued. However, with the arrival of another 2 Origin Emperor Realm Elders, not long after they entered the valley, the strange gate illusory soul world in the middle suddenly stopped, and the energy to maintain its operation was completely exhausted. Everyone finally discovered that there were some broken bodies in the valley. After careful observation, they were the people who had entered this place earlier. The Jade Tripod Alchemy sect is in great trouble. Please come out of seclusion, please come out of seclusion. An elder of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect shouted, as if he was crying. The Bawang sect is going to overturn the heavens. In the Chaos region, as the news spread, many experts spoke with a horrified expression. They just destroyed the Green Sanctuary sect, including 12 Origin Emperor Realm experts of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. At the same time, several powerful existences were killed in one fell swoop in the mine. Who would have thought that Su-Yi would bring them to the vicinity of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect to set up an ambush and kill hundreds of people from the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect? More than half of the Origin Emperor Realm and Origin Void Realm experts were killed. Among them, the sect master of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect, Qiao Sanjia, was killed forcefully. Such news was received by many people, countless large and small forces, as well as countless itinerant cultivators. The Jade Tripod Alchemy sect, that's a second-rate force. Countless people's hearts trembled violently. They were shocked by Su Yi and the Bawang sect's ferocious and domineering actions. A second-rate force had suffered such a huge loss at the hands of the Bawang sect. Almost all the experts in the sect had been killed in one fell swoop. Such an outcome was too shocking. Everyone was shocked. It seemed that it had been less than a year since the name Bawang sect had appeared. Su Yi had also become famous in a short period of time. They did not expect that they would cause such a huge commotion this time. For a moment, everyone in the entire Chaos region was discussing this matter. Most of the people from the 3 first-rate forces, the other 6 second-rate forces, and a large number of third-rate forces were shocked and aghast. Among them, there were also quite a number of people who had their own thoughts. That little thief in the blue cloud hall, Shi Susu's beautiful face was filled with shock and disbelief. Good boy, this old man has really underestimated you. In another place in the blue cloud hall, Elder Wushu, who was dressed in a red robe, was shocked. After a long time, he opened his mouth and said these words. At the same time, there was a bitter smile on his face. If he had known that Su Yi was so abnormal, he would have thought of a way to take him in as his disciple at the Alliance Conference no matter what. It's too late. It's too late. Elder Xie felt helpless in his heart and almost beat his chest and stomped his feet. He only hated himself for worrying too much. He did not see that Su Yi was really a daring person at such a young age. Suddenly, Elder Xie seemed to have thought of something and hurriedly flew away and disappeared. In the 9 Stars Valley, other than the shock of many experts, Elder Tang Wang was also extremely vexed. He only felt that he had missed a great opportunity. In the Blood Sun sect, Elder Baizun's face was filled with coldness. In the Big Dipper sect, when Hong Qianlong heard the news, he smashed the table beside him with a fist and his face was as black as iron. The rise of the Bawang sect was too fast. In such a short period of time, before the Big Dipper sect had the time to find trouble with them, they had already grown to such a level. If they did not take action to eliminate them, who knew what kind of situation would occur? Different from the reactions of the other sects, when 2 forces in the Chaos Zone heard about the situation of the Green Sanctuary sect, they were both furious. Inform all the elders of the Origin Emperor realm to gather at the Bawang sect's mine. In the Xianjian sect, Ji Tianfu gave out such an order with a gloomy face. He did not receive the news that Ji Hanua had been captured by the Green Sanctuary sect immediately. He only knew that the Bawang sect had suddenly attacked the Green Sanctuary sect. It was only when the experts of the Bawang sect came to inform him that he knew everything. This caused Ji Tianfu to instantly turn into an angry tiger, on the verge of going berserk at any moment. The Jade Tripod sect hasn't been exterminated. Their true experts will definitely appear soon. In the Liuhe sect, Lin Zhenyang paced back and forth in the main hall with one arm behind his back, his brows tightly furrowed. Sect Master, the Jade Tripod sect definitely has an Origin Ancestor realm expert. Should our Liuhe sect help the Bawang sect? Below, an Origin Void realm expert of the Liuhe sect asked. To this expert, the Jade Tripod sect was a terrifying existence. Even though so many Origin Emperors had died, it was definitely not something that the Bawang sect and the Liuhe sect could compare to. Once they got involved, it was very likely that it would bring about a calamity. This choice needed to be carefully considered. However, just as he finished speaking, Lin Zhenyang's pacing suddenly stopped. He gritted his teeth and said in a deep voice, "After all, the Bawang sect is an ally. There's no reason not to help. First, gather all the Origin Emperor realm experts and gather at the Bawang sect. As for the other people, just continue to do your jobs. No matter what, Let's go and see the Bawang sect's plans first. If they really want to go head-to-head with the Jade Tripod sect, we won't be able to stay out of it. After Lin Zhenyang made this decision, his heart suddenly relaxed. In fact, he was also conflicted because the Bawang sect's enemies were especially powerful every time. This time, it was even possible for an origin ancestor realm existence to be drawn out. This was something that was unimaginable in the past. At this point, there was no need to mobilize people below the origin void realm. It would be useless if they went. No matter what the Bawang sect's plans were, Lin Zhenyang planned to personally make a trip to see Su Yi's specific plans. Chapter 1192. A heated discussion broke out in the Chaos region. Almost every cultivator was shocked. So many experts from the Jade Tripod sect have died. They will definitely not let this matter rest. I want to go to the Bawang sect to take a look and see how they will deal with it next. Some people who were not far from the Bawang sect quickly set off on their journey with such thoughts. There was no lack of such busybodies in the world. No matter what kind of excitement it was, they wanted to join in. If I were Su Yi, I would definitely choose to temporarily avoid it. I would find a place to hide from the limelight and come out after I have developed and grown stronger. With his talent, coupled with the fact that the people from the Bawang sect seem to be freaks, in a few years or decades, it is very likely that he can really reach the Jade Tripod sect. There were also such voices, but they quickly attracted mockery and sarcasm. You dare to compare yourself to Su Yi? Even though he was only a 17-year-old youth, his courage and boldness were not something that anyone could compare to. As for you, compared to Su Yi, you are probably a complete piece of trash. In any case, I feel that with that youth's domineering personality, it is very likely that he will meet the Jade Tripod sect head-on. The person who spoke earlier could not help but blush after being mocked like this. He was flustered and exasperated, but he was powerless to refute. This was because he also knew that the Bawang sect had merciless West. With the control of the illusory spirit world, it was not impossible for an ordinary first or second level origin ancestor realm to block it. I want to go and take a look too. This time, it will definitely be a major event in the history of the Chaos region. Many people began to move and gathered towards the Bawang sect's mine. If the Bawang sect could still withstand the next battle, it would definitely be a heaven-shaking rhythm. Shopkeeper Zhao, that's all the news. Do you have any other instructions? In the Spirit Treasure Pavilion of Sword Star City, a middle-aged man spoke respectfully to Shopkeeper Zhao. The Spirit Treasure Pavilion had a very wide channel to obtain information. Any news would be transmitted through the crowd at the first moment. Therefore, after hearing about Su Yi and the Bawang sect, Shopkeeper Zhao was shocked. That's all. You can leave now. Shopkeeper Zhao waved his hand and sent the middle-aged man out the door. He wanted to gather the information and report it to his superiors. However, not long after the middle-aged man left, there was another knock on the door. Shopkeeper Zhao said, "Come in." Then, another middle-aged man walked in. This middle-aged man's aura was vigorous and extraordinary. Faintly, he had the fluctuations of a beginner-level origin emperor. Shopkeeper Zhao, the items have been delivered safely. Everything has been settled. The middle-aged man went straight to the point. Good. It's good that you've delivered it. Thank you for your hard work. Shopkeeper Zhao nodded, but suddenly revealed a bitter smile and muttered to himself. It's a pity that those things won't be of much help to the Bawang sect. Even if he has some powerful means, it's too late now. A moment later, he shook his head and continued to mutter to himself, let's wait and see. There will be a result in a few days. I have a feeling that youth won't be easily defeated by the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect, even if there's an Origin Grandmaster Realm cultivator. Shopkeeper Zhao's old eyes suddenly flashed with a strong light. He himself could not tell why he had so much confidence in that young man. 3 days later, Su Xiaoshui, the Green Emperor, Yang Ming, Yin Ming, the spirit-devouring emperor, and Lei Yunhe returned to the mine. Elder Lei, please check the situation of the Li Fire Mystic Yang realm again. Be prepared to face the enemy at any time. Su Yi immediately issued his order. After Lei Yunhe heard it, he did not delay and immediately began to check. Merciless West had entered the mysterious space, and no one knew what she was doing. Su Yi did not care. He had many things to arrange now. Inform the Purple Elephant Emperor, the Dragon Rhinoceros Emperor, and the Mystic Turtle Emperor to come to the mine to help. He sent a few barbaric beasts to the Bawang sect to deliver a message and mobilized the 3 beast emperors. Huang Jian needed to stay behind to guard the sect. Go and tell Nangong Ningyue to bring the few origin emperors from the Heavenly Spider sect and the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect over. Su Yi ordered again. Not long after, Nangong Ningyue brought 8 or 9 people to the main hall of the cave. These figures were Elder Mu and Elder Yuan of the Heavenly Spider sect, Elder Zhou, Elder Jin, and the others who had been captured by the Bawang sect. Each of them had the cultivation of the Origin Emperor realm, especially Elder Zhou and Elder Jin, who had reached the 8th level of the Origin Emperor realm. In addition, there were a few people at the 5th to 7th level of the Origin Emperor realm. Their cultivation was not weak. Brat, let us go quickly. Otherwise, my Jade Tripod Alchemy sect will definitely not let you go. Elder Jin, who was like a wild lion, immediately shouted in a deep voice when he saw Su Yi after entering the main hall. When he was first captured and ordered as a minor slave, he still wanted to resist. However, Wang Zhenquan made him suffer a lot and slowly became more obedient. However, he was still unwilling to accept it in his heart. A dignified elder of a second-rate faction was actually reduced to a slave miner. This was intolerable. At the side, Elder Zhou and the others did not say anything. They only looked at the young man above the main hall with sparkling eyes. The Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. Hearing Elder Jin's words, Su Yi snorted lightly and said sarcastically, "You've been captured for so long. Has the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect come to save you?" He glanced at Elder Jin and did not tell him about the series of recent events. Because the miners were ill-informed, these people had no idea what kind of storm had happened in the outside world. Even when the Li Fire Mystic Yang realm was activated a few days ago, Elder Zhou and the others did not know that it was because of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect's 3rd elder and the others. Brat, you will definitely regret it. Elder Jin was stunned by Su Yi's words and did not refute. After a long while, he said such harsh words and glared at Su Yi. You still dare to jump around when you're about to die. If you talk so much nonsense, I'll slap you to death. Su Xiaoshui directly flapped his wings and slapped Elder Jin's face, flipping him to the ground. A bloody wing mark appeared on his face, and broken teeth were spat out from his mouth. Seeing that Elder Jin was about to continue saying harsh words, Su Yi was a little impatient. His face darkened and he said coldly, I advise you not to speak again. Otherwise, I don't mind killing you immediately. His gaze was cold, and like a knife, it swept past the people of the Heavenly Spider sect and the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. It carried an extremely cold aura, causing people's backs to be drenched in cold sweat. Now I'll give you a chance. Eat this bone-devouring soul pill and join the Bawang sect. You can live and also remove your status as slaves. Su Yi opened his palm, and a few small porcelain bottles appeared. They were all filled with bone-devouring soul pills. You want me to join the Bawang sect? Don't even think about it. Before the others could say anything, Elder Jin, who was on the ground, was the first to snort. As he spoke, he spat, Why don't you take a look at what the Bawang sect is? I've been tolerating you for a long time. Su Yi frowned and said softly, Then send him to hell. Seeing Su Yi's expression, The Green Emperor's face immediately darkened. He lightly struck out with his palm and directly imprinted it on Elder Jin's head. With a bang, it was like a watermelon exploding. Blood splattered and shot out in the hall. The few elders of the Heavenly Spider sect and the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect, whose cultivation had been sealed, were all stained with red and white. You guys, some people panicked and were frightened by this scene. They really didn't expect this young man and the Beast Emperor to be so decisive in killing. When they said that they wanted to kill someone, they didn't even blink their eyes. Elder Jin died so fast that he didn't even have time to react. He didn't even have time to scream before he turned into a headless corpse. My patience is limited. If you want to die, just say it. I will definitely fulfill your wish. Su Yi's expression didn't change. He said again, I don't want to say the same thing a second time. Whoever I ask, give me the answer immediately. His palm didn't move or shake. He held the porcelain bottle and directly raised it in front of a third-level Origin Emperor Realm expert of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. He asked, Tell me, what do you choose? This third-level Origin Emperor Realm expert was the first to be asked. He couldn't help but stutter. Elder Jin's death just now had shocked him. However, he was really unwilling to submit to the Bawang sect. If you can't even speak clearly, then let's kill you. Su Yi's expression didn't change as he said softly. Then, the Green Emperor took a step forward and slammed his palm down once again. Bang! A muffled sound was heard as blood splattered everywhere. This expert was instantly killed. When the remaining few people saw this scene, they couldn't help but tremble. Even Elder Zhou, whose cultivation was the most profound, was the same. Such a fierce and decisive method was a little too frightening. You, give me an answer now. Su Yi walked in front of another person and asked. This expert's forehead was instantly covered in bean-sized beads of sweat, and he was extremely nervous. He really didn't know how to choose. In front of Su Yi, the pressure he was under was really too great. Invisibly, he could feel the power of this young man. It was really terrifying. If that's the case, then, Su Yi was about to speak, but he was instantly interrupted by this expert. I submit. This expert at the 4th level of the Origin Emperor realm could clearly feel the murderous aura emanating from this young man. It was as though the god of death had descended upon the world, making it extremely difficult for him to breathe. Submit? Unfortunately, you hesitated. Su Yi chuckled and moved his lips. Kill! As he spoke, he had already walked to the next person. Beside him, the Green Emperor followed suit and killed the previous person directly. Bawang sect. I submit. I'll join and follow you. When Su Yi walked in front of him, before he could ask, this expert at the 4th level of the Origin Emperor realm hurriedly said. With the previous example in front of him, how could he still not know how to choose? They were at the Origin Emperor realm and had experienced many life and death situations. However, no one wanted to die, especially under the circumstances where they couldn't resist. Even if they had exceptional cultivation, they would still feel boundless fear. Therefore, this expert chose to submit at the first moment. Chapter 1193. An old man at the 4th level of the Origin Emperor realm took the bone soul devouring elixir. His hands were trembling as he looked at the elixir in his hands hesitantly. Suddenly, he felt a cold aura shooting towards him like lightning, causing his body to tremble violently. I'll take it. I'll take it. The old man didn't think any further. He clenched his teeth and swallowed the bone soul devouring elixir with his eyes closed. Very good. Su Yi didn't say anything. The Green Emperor spoke, indicating for the old man to stand on the other side of the hall. Su Yi nodded and didn't mind. He continued to walk to the next person. I'll join. I'll join the Bawang sect. This person was also very straightforward. With an uneasy heart, He took the elixir from Su Yi's hand and swallowed it without thinking. The next 3 people didn't dare to hesitate. They were all willing to join the Bawang sect. There was no other reason other than the fact that Su Yi brought too much pressure to him. As long as they dared to say no, what awaited them was death. The 3 corpses on the ground were the best examples. Elder Zhou, it's your turn. When Su Yi walked to the front of Elder Zhou, he couldn't help but raise his eyebrows and said. Elder Zhou looked deeply at Su Yi and didn't say anything for a long time. Then, he sighed and swallowed the poison elixir. When they first arrived at the Ore Mountain, the head that had been held high finally lowered completely. It couldn't be helped. Even Elder Jin, who was at the 8th level of the Origin Emperor realm, didn't even blink when Su Yi killed him. At this moment, the remaining 6 people who were still alive felt bitter in their hearts, but they didn't dare to show it on their faces. They all felt that their fate in the future might be very miserable. They could only be used as cannon fodder. After consuming the bone-soul-devouring elixir, you will be a member of the Bawang sect from now on. Su Yi didn't care about what they were thinking. He said, as long as you do your best, I promise you that you will get all the benefits you deserve. Upon hearing this, Elder Zhou, Elder Sun, and the others heaved a sigh of relief. They were not afraid of risking their lives as long as they could reap some benefit. Su Yi picked up the pill bottle and placed the other hand behind his back as he looked at the people in the hall. The remaining 6 people were originally experts of the Heavenly Spider sect and the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. They were experts of opposing forces. It was impossible for them to be given the position of protector as soon as they were subdued. Everything still needed to be observed. This was completely different from Lei Yunhe. After all, Lei Yunhe was only an independent cultivator and a powerful soul controller. Since we're all on the same side, there are some things that I won't hide from you. Su Yi spoke and briefly recounted the recent conflicts between the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect and the Bawang sect. What? Hearing this news, everyone present widened their eyes. Their minds were in a daze, and they couldn't believe their ears. Almost all the experts above the Origin Emperor realm of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect have been killed. Elder Zhou's eyes were as wide as copper bells, and his eyeballs were about to pop out of their sockets. The Jade Tripod Alchemy sect only had a total of 50 to 60 Origin Emperor realm experts. If it was really as Su Yi had said, then the number of people left now could definitely be counted on one hand. This was equivalent to wiping out the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect in one go. Only a few big and small cats were left, and they were lucky enough to escape with their lives. Ancestor. The ancestor of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect will definitely come out of seclusion. Elder Zhou began to tremble as he mumbled in fear. He had just chosen to join the Bawang sect when he received such terrifying news. Even he had never seen the ancestors of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect before. Those people rarely came out of seclusion and focused on cultivating. However, it was not hard to imagine that once they came out of seclusion, they would bring about a stormy sea. Remove the restrictions on their bodies and then go out. Let Elder One come to see me. Su Yi waved his hand. He did not have time to say anything to Elder Zhou and the others. He had someone summon Wang Zhengquan to the main hall. Elder Wang, how is the mining progress? Su Yi asked directly. Sect Master, more than half of the mine has been mined. Moreover, the deeper we go, the better the quality of the prenatal stones. We have mined a large number of 3-star prenatal stones. At the mention of the mine, Wang Zhengquan could not help but be excited. He said, moreover, in the past few days, we have also dug out a lot of 4-star prenatal stones. This mine is too rich. We have already dug out 4-star prenatal stones. Su Yi was slightly surprised. In fact, he had speculated that there were 4-star prenatal stones below. It had only been more than 10 days. He did not expect that they had already been dug out. Sect Master. Recently, I have asked Nangong Nyuwa to arrange for people to focus on mining high-grade prenatal stones. The 1-star and 2-star prenatal stones have been suspended, Wang Zhenquan said. Is that so? Su Yi could not help but be stunned for a moment. This surprised him. It seemed that Wang Zhenquan had also smelled the scent of danger and wanted to mine as many high-grade prenatal stones as possible. When the time came, if the mine really could not be defended, it would not be too painful to abandon it. If they dug directly into the depths and mined high-grade prenatal stones, the losses would be greatly reduced when the time came. Sect Master, we have already mined a lot of prenatal stones. According to the current manpower and scale of the Bawang sect, if used normally, it can last for decades. Wang Zhenquan straightened his back and said with a smile. Yes, Elder Wang, you take care of all the prenatal stones. All the expenses will be arranged by you, Sui said. He also had a rough idea of how much resources the Bawang sect had now. In fact, Sui also knew in his heart that although there were a lot of prenatal stones mined from the mine, the Bawang sect wanted to continue expanding. This would be accompanied by huge expenses. If they could not rise as soon as possible, how could they contend against a colossus like the Holy Mountain? However, the prenatal stones were enough now. At the very least, Sui felt that he had escaped poverty. In the next few days, speed up the mining and dig out as many prenatal stones as possible. If the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect really comes looking for us, you, Nangong Ningyue, and the others will retreat and meet up with Huang Jian and the others. When the matter here is settled, I will look for you. Sui said again. Yes, Sect Master. Don't worry, Sect Master. I have also gathered more itinerant cultivators in the past few days and are mining with all my might. I will definitely be able to minimize the losses. Wang Zhenquan said respectfully. He also realized the seriousness of the following matter. It was very likely that the mine would not be able to be saved. However, Wang Zhenquan was thinking in his heart, if it reached that stage, would the sect master and the others really be able to save their lives? If that was the case, why didn't they just retreat? However, Wang Zhenquan did not ask this question in the end. The two of them chatted for a while more before Wang Zhenquan left the hall. Sui watched the skinny old man leave with a flash in his eyes. This time, he was going to face a huge crisis. However, he could not hide. Even if he could bring many people to hide temporarily, as long as he showed his face, he would definitely be suppressed by the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect and other forces. He might as well meet them. The Bawang sect was not completely powerless to deal with them. At the same time, he also wanted to see the hearts of some people. There were not many people in the Bawang sect that he could truly trust. Even Wang Zhenquan and other trusted aides, when they were on the verge of life and death, he did not know if they would do something that would harm the sect. Therefore, Sui wanted to use this matter to carefully see some people. He stayed in the hall for a while and discussed some things with the Green Emperor and the others. Then, he prepared to enter the mysterious space to see what his big brother was busy with. At the same time, he also wanted to see Nangong Ningyue's situation. However, before he could do anything, he heard the Green Emperor say softly, "Master, someone has come to the mine." Sui was stunned. The people of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect probably wouldn't come so quickly. It's the people of the Xianjian sect. The people of the Liuhe sect are also here. The few of them flew out of the hall and saw a group of more than 10 people flying over quickly from afar. They were all experts of the Origin Emperor realm. Sect Master Ji, Sect Master Lin. Sui went up to greet them and cupped his hands. Sui, Sect Master Su, Ji Tianfu, Lin Zhenyang, and the others returned the greeting. Everyone, let's have a chat in the hall. Sui turned his body and led Ji Tianfu and the others into the hall. Kid, I heard that you saved Hanu. I wonder where she is now. Ji Tianfu's brows were tightly knitted as he asked urgently. When he received the news, everything had already happened. Fortunately, he heard that Su Yi had already saved Ji Hanhua, which made Ji Tianfu heave a sigh of relief. Sect Master Ji, don't worry. Miss Hanhua is in a very safe place. However, she's not completely out of danger yet. If there's a chance later, I'll bring you to see her. Su Yi thought for a moment and said. Ji Hanhua was in the mysterious space, so it was not appropriate for him to bring Ji Tianfu in immediately. All right. Ji Tianfu nodded. The stone in his heart was finally lifted. Then, he asked, may I know how Elder Nian is? Elder Nian is fine. He's recuperating in the cave abode next door. This time, Green Emperor replied. Ji Tianfu regained his sight. Then, his face suddenly darkened as he said coldly, Kid, I've heard about everything. If you have any plans, just say it directly. This time, our Xianjian sect swears to fight the Jade Tripod sect to the end. His entire body emitted a strong, valiant aura. His elegant face looked murderous and extremely fierce. That's right, Sect Master Su. If you have any arrangements, just say it. As an ally, our Liuhe sect has no reason to retreat. We will definitely advance and retreat together with the Bawang sect. Lin Zhenyang also spoke solemnly to Su Yi. Behind him stood Gu Ming, Feng Qizong, and the other elders. Su Yi was more familiar with them. Hearing the words of these two sect masters, Su Yi was once again touched. This was not the first time that the Xianjian sect and the Liuhe sect had helped him. Whether it was when the Bawang sect was still weak or when they could already challenge existences like the Jade Tripod sect, once there was a crisis, they would firmly stand behind him. Based on this friendship, how could Su Yi not be moved? Sect Master Ji, Sect Master Lin. Chapter 1194. This time is different from the past. Once the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect comes, there will definitely be Origin Ancestor Realm cultivators. In front of such an expert, it's not something that can be resisted just by having more people. Therefore, in order to avoid unnecessary sacrifices, everyone can just watch the battle from the periphery. If the Bawang sect needs help, you can make a move. Su Yi looked at Ji Tianfu and Lin Zhenyang and said. This was a decision that he had made after careful consideration. The Bawang sect relied on the Li Fire Mystic Yang realm to fight against the Origin Ancestor realm. However, no one could say for sure. They could only see the true strength of the Origin Ancestor realm expert. For the Xianjian sect and the Liuhe sect, they were no longer of much use in this battle. They might as well quietly stay at the side. Perhaps they could be of some use. Brat, the Green Sanctuary sect dares to attack Hanhua because the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect is backing them. Since that's the case, it would be too unreasonable if the Xianjian sect doesn't say anything. As soon as Su Yi finished speaking, Ji Tianfu said with a cold gaze. Su Yi remained silent. Ji Tianfu had come in anger not only because he wanted to help him, but also because Ji Hanhua had been threatened and was in danger. Sect Master Ji, let's listen to Sect Master Su's arrangements. I think he should have some confidence. At this moment, Lin Zhenyang opened his mouth and said to Ji Tianfu, I think that when the time comes, not only will the experts of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect appear, but there might also be some other people who will come to fish in troubled waters. And we should probably keep an eye on those people. As soon as he said this, Su Yi and Ji Tianfu both nodded in agreement. This was something that the two of them had not thought of at the moment, but it would definitely be as Lin Zhenyang had said. That's right. When the time comes, all those who are plotting against us can only be left to the two of you. Su Yi nodded and said. Ji Tianfu thought for a moment. After calming down, he no longer insisted. Su Yi arranged for Xianjian sect and Liuhe faction to stay in the mine. Then, he went to look for Wuchang Fairy alone, but he did not disturb her. This temperamental woman was not to be trifled with. If nothing happened, Su-yi would not dare to provoke her when he was alone. Su-yi was just about to enter the mysterious space to check on his brother and Ji Hanua's situation when Lei Yunhe came looking for him again. He wanted him to help rearrange the Li Fire Mystic Yang realm. Therefore, in the next few days, Su-yi had been shuttling back and forth between the hills. It was as if he had returned to the days when he helped Merciless West set up the Li Fire Mystic Yang realm. However, the situation this time was different. Lei Yunhe did not have the ability to set up the strange gate illusory spirit world on his own. He could only make some modifications based on the Li Fire Mystic Sun realm that Merciless West had set up, making it even more powerful. At the same time, Su-yi also asked Lei Yunhe some questions. After hearing his answers, Su-yi gained even more. Putting aside the level of cultivation and soul quality, this old man's research on the strange gate illusory spirit world was much more profound than his brother Merciless West. No wonder he had lived for so many years. Su-yi gained a lot in the process. While the Bawang sect was in a mess, the entire chaos zone was getting more and more lively. A large number of people began to gather around the Bawang sect, wanting to gather information as soon as possible. All humans below the Origin Void Realm who come near, kill them without mercy. The Silver Cloud Leopard, the Golden Lion Vulture, the Scarlet Wind Black-Eyed Demon Monkey, the Frost Demon Dragon, the Flaming Winged Demon Tiger, and the other Demon Void Realm barbarian beasts began to move. They led countless barbarian beasts and set up layers of tight defenses around them, forbidding all humans below the Origin Void Realm from approaching the Bawang sect. This was to prevent any unfavorable situation from happening. This area was originally the territory of a few beast emperors. The powerful barbarian beasts under the Purple Elephant Emperor, the Dragon Rhinoceros Emperor, and the Mystic Turtle Emperor were also mobilized and formed a tight defense line. Ferocious roars came from the mouths of many barbarian beasts, shaking the heavens and the earth. Those who did not have enough cultivation or did not have a strong leader could not cross the line. At such a critical juncture, the fewer people who got involved, the better. As a result, countless itinerant cultivators and people from small forces were all blocked at the periphery. All of them were resentful and did not dare to force their way in. While many people were gathering in the direction of the Bawang sect, and at the same time, the Bawang sect was preparing for battle, many people had gathered outside the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. They heard a deafening roar coming from one of the towering mountain peaks among the many layers of mountains. Following that, a terrifying vibration spread out. The mountain peak directly collapsed at the waist, and the peak fell headfirst, crashing down and breaking. How terrifying! Many of the warriors gathered nearby were terrified. That terrifying aura was transmitted over. Even though they were far away, it still made their hearts almost stop. Their throats felt as if they were being tightly gripped by someone, making it difficult for them to breathe. Is this the power of the Origin Ancestor Realm? A small number of Origin Emperor Realm experts tried their best to break free, trembling for no reason. They knew that it was definitely the absolute power of an Origin Ancestor Realm expert. The Bawang sect shall be killed. Such a voice came from the mountain peaks of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect and resounded through the void. Then, under the gazes of many warriors, a figure directly stepped out from those mountain peaks. With a single step, he crossed a distance of thousands of feet. Ripples appeared in the space and spread out around this figure like water ripples. After taking a few steps, his figure disappeared from everyone's sight, and it was difficult to find him again. That invisible ripple also disappeared without a trace. This old man also wants to see who can touch my Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. Another voice was heard, and it sounded even older. Then, many people in the periphery saw another figure rushing into the distance at an incomparably fast speed. It followed the route of the previous person and soon disappeared. Origin Ancestor Realm Expert. The origin ancestor of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect has appeared. Two of you. Those are two origin ancestor realm existences. They want to directly kill their way to the Bawang sect. This time, the Bawang sect is really in trouble. Countless people's hearts trembled violently. Clearly, the origin ancestor realm expert was not coming for them, but they were afraid for no reason. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this moment, several figures with powerful auras rushed out from the mountain gate of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. They chased after the two people who had left in front, but their speed was much slower. These people are at the Origin Emperor realm. They should be the last experts of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. Many people looked up and saw three old men leaving. They were all high-level Origin Emperor realm experts, and their strength was very terrifying. However, compared to the Origin Ancestor realm, the difference was too great. Let's go. Hurry up and go to the Bawang sect. There will definitely be an unprecedented battle next. Someone shouted. It's too late. By the time we get there, everything should be over. Someone else replied. Not necessarily. The Bawang sect has the illusory soul world, so the battle might not end so quickly. Even if it ends, we can still get first-hand information. With this thought, many itinerant cultivators embarked on the journey. Bawang sect, Sui, this time, I want to see how you will be destroyed. In another direction, in the Heavenly Dipper sect, Hong Qianlong led several powerful figures and stood in the air. With a wave of his hand, everyone instantly moved and rushed towards the Bawang sect. Hong Qianlong did not alarm the foundation of the sect. This time, the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect had suffered a huge loss, and an Origin Ancestor realm expert had broken out of seclusion. Normally speaking, it was enough for everyone in the Bawang sect to die several times. Therefore, Hong Qianlong mainly went to investigate the situation. If there was a chance, he would capture that thief Sui and make him beg for death to comfort his only son in heaven. Among the great forces of the Chaos region, not only did the Heavenly Dipper sect move, but almost at the same time, experts from the three first-rate forces walked out. We must not miss the treasures on Suyi's body this time. In the Blood Sun sect, Elder Baizun and a group of people moved. Their target was the Bawang sect's mine. I wonder if that kid can still create a miracle this time. Outside the Blue Cloud Hall, several figures led by Elder Xia Wushu quickly pierced through the clouds and disappeared. Elder Tang, it's better for the Nine Stars Valley not to interfere in this matter. In the Nine Stars Valley, a middle-aged expert in a white robe said to Elder Tang Wang. This middle-aged man's hair was neatly combed behind his back, and he had the temperament of a scholar, making it easy for people to have a good impression of him. I'm just going to take a look. If I really do make a move, it will only be in my name. I will not implicate the Nine Stars Valley. Opposite him, Elder Tang's tone was as stiff as ever, as if it was the same to everyone. He ignored the gaze of the middle-aged expert in the valley. After he finished speaking, he stepped into the sky and quickly disappeared. Looking at Elder Tang's back, the experts in the Nine Stars Valley did not stop him, nor did they say anything. As one of the three first-rate forces in the Chaos region, the Nine Stars Valley was definitely not afraid of trouble, and it was even more impossible for them to not dare to interfere just because of a small Jade Tripod Alchemy sect or the Bawang sect. However, the middle-aged expert in the white robe understood one thing in his heart. Because of the Bawang sect, the entire Chaos region was once again in turmoil. It was no longer as simple as the personal grudge between the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect and the Bawang sect. Perhaps some people would help Sui because of his extraordinariness, but at the same time, there would definitely be people who wanted to take advantage of the situation. After all, that youth had too many secrets. Just the strange wooden chest of the demon subduing sect alone was enough for many people to fight for it. After all, it was something that even the Holy Mountain wanted. Therefore, under such a complicated situation, the best attitude for the Nine Stars Valley was to temporarily stay out of it. If they wanted to profit, they could not be the one who stood out. It was better to be the Oriole and wait for the Mantis to make a move before striking like lightning. Elder Teng, Elder Teng. Chapter 1195. Elder Tao, Elder Dong, the two of you should make a trip. If there's a chance, bring Su-Yi back and try not to hurt him. Of course, if you encounter any obstructions, the two of you can act at your own discretion. A moment later, the middle-aged man spoke softly to the void. Yes, Sect Master. After the middle-aged man finished speaking, two responses came from the space, but no figures appeared. Bawang Sect's mine. Every place was filled with a tense atmosphere. Under the instructions of Nangong Ningyue and Wang Zhengquan, many miners were mining at the fastest speed. As for the Green Emperor, Yang Ming, Yin Ming, and the Spirit-Devouring Emperor, the four Beast Emperors, they had adjusted their states to their strongest state. Each of them closed their eyes and sat cross-legged on a small hill. In addition, the Purple Elephant Emperor, the Dragon Rhinoceros Emperor, and the Mystic Turtle Emperor had also rushed here from the sect. Even Handsome Su, who had always been active, stayed in the mine obediently. He was alert all day long and kept an eye on the surroundings. Among the crowd, Su-Yi and Lei Yunhe had been busy with the transformation and inspection of the Li Fire Mystic Yang realm. 2 days later, Su-Yi finally let out a sigh of relief. All the work was completed, and he felt a little tired. After the transformation of the Li Fire Mystic Yang realm, its power can be increased by 20 to 30%. Ordinary first or second level Essence Grandmasters will have to shed a layer of skin when they enter. Lei Yunhe had unknowingly found another black robe and put it on. However, under the hood of the robe, a deep divine light shone out. This is very good. Su-Yi nodded. The mysterious gate illusory soul world that had increased its power by 20 to 30% had definitely undergone a qualitative change. It was only Lei Yunhe, who had studied it carefully for many years, that ordinary soul controllers would find it difficult to make such a transformation. Elder Lei, have a good rest. The Jade Tripod Alchemy sect will come at any time. Su-Yi said again. After giving Lei Yunhe a bottle of spiritual liquid, he left. He looked at the situation in the mine and chatted with the Green Emperor, Handsome Su, and the others about some things. Sect Master, these are the primeval stones we need this time. Not long after, Wang Zhengquan sent over a spatial bag filled with 1-star origin stones, all of which were mined from the mines, for the consumption of the phantom spirit world. Su-Yi took it and sighed. Just the consumption of Chiman's illusory spirit world had already cost the Bawang sect an unknown amount of primordial stones. Fortunately, they had found a mine. Otherwise, how could they afford it? Huff huff! Suddenly, just as Su-Yi was about to explain something to Wang Zhengquan again, a different kind of charm suddenly rose from the void near the mine. Rings of ripples appeared, and the space was like water ripples, giving birth to ripples. Su-Yi, Handsome Su, the Green Emperor, and the others all felt the pressure on them increase exponentially. It was as if a mountain was collapsing on them. He's here. Su-Yi's face darkened as he said. It must be an Essence Ancestor realm expert of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan. Everyone, prepare for battle. The Green Emperor shouted. Yang Ming, Yin Ming, Devouring Spirit Emperor, Purple Elephant Emperor, Dragon Rhinoceros Emperor, Black Tortoise Emperor, and the others instantly released their auras and spread in the void. The terrifying spatial energy fluctuations were obviously from the Origin Ancestor realm powerhouses. The most frightening thing was that 2 of them had come at once. Boom! Suddenly, a boundless sea of fire appeared and enveloped the entire mine. The blazing flames burned fiercely, and a terrifying power filled the air as if it could burn everything. This was the Li Fire Mystic Sun realm, and Wang Zhengquan was sitting in the center, driving it. Sect Master, I'll take my men and retreat first. You must be careful. Wang Zhengquan looked at Su Yi and bowed solemnly. Seeing Su Yi nod, he turned around and left. According to the formation map in his mind, he quickly traveled through the Li-Fire Mystic Sun realm. Wang Zhengquan's mission was to take Nangong Ningyue and the many disciples of the Bawang sect and leave the mine. You guys help Elder Lei to block them for a while. I'll go check on Big Brother's situation. Su Yi said to the people around him, and then directly entered the mysterious space. That day, his big brother, Merciless West, rushed to the vicinity of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect and found Su Yi entering the mysterious space. He did not know why. When Su Yi asked, he did not say anything. In the past few days, Su Yi had been busy modifying the illusory spirit world with Lei Yunhe, so he did not have the time to enter and take a look. Now that the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect really had an origin ancestor realm powerhouse, he had to let his big brother, Merciless West, take action. With him in charge, the Li-Fire Mystic Sun realm could unleash its greatest power. Kid, you're in such a hurry. Are the people from the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect here? Just as Su Yi entered the mysterious space, Merciless West's voice was heard. Yes, big brother. Su Yi nodded. Then let's go. Merciless West was originally sitting cross-legged on the ground. At this moment, he stood up and walked straight out of the mysterious space. Su Yi did not ask his big brother what he had been doing recently. He only handed the space bag containing a large number of prenatal stones to his big brother. Then, they walked out and entered the mine. A sea of fire covered the sky. Terrifying walls of fire moved with a rumbling sound, as if they wanted to crush everything. Merciless West went directly to the center of the Li-Fire Mystic Sun realm and took over Lei Yunhe's position. He began to control the entire illusory spirit world. Lei Yunhe, on the other hand, became his subordinate, helping Merciless West maintain the operation of the Li-Fire Mystic Sun realm. To think that an unknown overlord sect in the Mystical Gate's illusory soul world would have such a trick up their sleeves. Under the cover of the endless sea of fire, a middle-aged man stood quietly in the air. His eyebrows were furrowed. Around him, huge fire dragons were entrenched and twisting, carrying a ferocious might as they continuously pounced towards him. What a Bawang sect! Then let this old man see if this illusory spirit world can trap me. In another place, an old man with a snow-white beard snorted. His hunched body suddenly straightened, and an invisible wave spread from his body. The surrounding flames were directly pushed aside, isolating a huge space. In an instant, the old man looked like the master of this space. The myriad of flames were unable to get close to his body. Is this the true origin ancestor realm? Su Yi, who was in the middle of the rest gate, followed the guidance of the array diagram and pushed aside the raging flames. He could not help but sigh when he saw the power of the two people. The middle-aged man and the old man both had extraordinary bearings. They had actually blocked the endless flames extremely far away from their bodies. Su Yi knew that this was the absolute power of the origin ancestor realm. It was much, much stronger than when Hong Qianlong, the third elder, and the other half-step origin ancestor realm experts used it. Watching from afar, Su Yi vaguely felt that once he fell into that space, it was very likely that he would be instantly suppressed and destroyed. He would not even have the ability to resist. Two origin ancestor realm experts have actually come at the same time. Outside the mine, the people from the Xianjian sect and the Liuhe sect were all there. According to Su Yi's request, they were very far away from the mine and would not get involved in the battle for the time being. However, when they saw the appearance of the two origin ancestor realm experts, Ji Tianfu and Lin Zhenyang's expressions changed slightly. That middle-aged man must be the legendary sect master of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect, Luo Qing, hundreds of years ago. He was the one who single-handedly brought the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect to glory and quickly rose from a third-rate force to a second-rate force. And that old man, he's probably the Grand Elder of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect, Lu Yinghong. These two people haven't appeared for hundreds of years. Ji Tianfu, Lin Zhenyang, Gu Ming, Feng Qizong, and the others all spoke in shock. They had naturally heard of some things about the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect. They also knew that the legendary Origin Ancestor Realm Foundation of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect was these two people. Luo Qing and Lu Yinghong were both extremely terrifying existences back then. They were famous in the world hundreds of years ago. Ever since they broke through to the Origin Ancestor Realm, the two of them rarely appeared in the world. This time, the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect suffered heavy casualties, and the two of them actually appeared at the same time. This is really troublesome, Ji Tianfu muttered, worried for the Bawang sect. Lin Zhenyang and the others were the same. The Xianjian sect and the Liuhe sect had a total of more than 10 Origin Emperors. They all clenched their fists and looked nervously at the Bawang sect, who was wrapped in endless flames. The only thing they could do now was to wait quietly. It's starting. Get ready to attack at any time. Merciless West's voice came out from the Li Fire Mystic Yang realm and entered the ears of Su Yi, Green Emperor, and the others. In an instant, all the Beast Emperors were ready for battle, and the strength in their bodies was brewing to the extreme. Li Fire incinerates the heavens. As Merciless West's voice fell, flames suddenly rose from the space where the middle-aged man was. The flames turned purple, and with the power to incinerate the heavens and boil the seas, they wrapped around the middle-aged man in an instant. The flames were not ordinary. It was the real Li Fire, and it burned the absolute domain space around the middle-aged man until it was distorted. "Open up!" the middle-aged man shouted. With a wave of his sleeve, countless bright blades shot out. The metal attribute energy was sharp and unstoppable, cutting the purple flames in the sky into pieces. He waved his hand again, and the air was filled with sharp whistles. Thousands of golden blades attacked again, and like a golden rain, they directly splashed into the monstrous purple flames. Sizzle, the two types of energy rubbed against each other, and an ear-piercing sound was heard. The metal attribute energy was originally countered by the fire attribute. However, at this moment, the terrifying golden blades were crazily strangling and cutting all the flames into a mess, scattering them in the air. This was the suppression of absolute strength. Given the power of the Li Fire Mystic Yang realm, it was definitely not easy to suppress an Origin Ancestor. As expected of an Origin Ancestor, "It's really terrifying," Merciless West, who was in the central area, muttered. His eyes were filled with shock. This was the power of an Origin Ancestor. It was far from what an Origin Emperor could compare to. Under the attack of the monstrous purple flames, an ordinary 9th-level Origin Emperor would vomit blood and be seriously injured, unable to resist at all. However, the middle-aged man was easily defeated. After a while, Merciless West's eyes lit up, and he suddenly said, "However, it won't be so easy for you to break the Li Fire Mystic Yang realm." At this moment, he already knew that the Li Fire Mystic Yang realm had been modified by Lei Yunhe, and its power had increased greatly. Chapter 1196. We can't delay any longer. Let's attack together. Even if we can't trap the two of them, we have to skin them alive. Merciless West looked at Lei Yunhe and said. The old man's expression could not be seen under the black robe, but he nodded silently. Then, the two of them poured out their soul power into the illusory spirit world at the same time. Under the joint efforts of the two powerful soul controllers, the Li Fire Mystic Sun realm began to tremble violently as if an earthquake had occurred. A loud boom was heard. Rumble, following the rapid depletion of primordial stones on the stone platform, a fire dragon that was close to 10,000 feet long suddenly appeared in the boundless sea of fire and let out a roar. The loud roar shook the heavens and the earth, causing the entirely fire-mystic sun realm to shake. The old man named Lu Yinghong stood quietly in the pain gate of the fire-mystic Yang realm. When the fire dragon suddenly pounced out, his old eyes shone with a bright light. Ka. Outside of his absolute domain, under the pressure of the fire dragon, the space began to crack. It emitted a crisp, cracking sound, like that of porcelain cracking apart. The fire dragon was in the sky, crushing in all directions. It was so powerful that it caused the fiery space to explode. Kill! Lu Yinghong's face was as dark as water. He let out a deep roar and threw out a punch. Infinite light burst out from his fist and awakened a flaming, raging lion. It was crimson red and the power of fire was shooting out. Roar! The flaming, raging lion roared and collided with the fire dragon. Boom! A loud explosion was heard as the terrifying, raging lion rolled away. It was as if a mountain had crashed into the void. Circles of deep ripples rolled out. The raging lion's aura instantly withered. With a wave of Lu Yinghong's hand, it dissipated completely. The fire dragon on the opposite side suddenly exploded and turned into a rain of fire that fell from the sky. On the other side, the middle-aged man, Luo Qing, was in the fiercest gate of death. There was also a terrifying fire dragon pressing down on him. However, he instantly raised a bright sword ray and destroyed the fire dragon. But this was just the beginning. After the fire dragons were defeated, the fire dragons took shape once again in the raging flames. At the same time, their numbers increased dramatically. In an instant, 20 fire dragons appeared. Each fire dragon was 10,000 feet long. They emitted an aura that could destroy everything as they charged over from all directions. Luo Qing and Lu Yinghong, who were in two separate spaces, narrowed their eyes instantly. Yuan Qi surged out from their bodies, and the power of their absolute domains expanded wildly. Everything within a radius of several hundred feet was included in their own sovereign domains. Roar, one after another, fire dragons roared into the sky, twisting their bodies and brazenly rushing into the absolute domain of the two. That enormous figure seemed to have sunk into a boundless body of water, violently stirring up tens of thousands of waves in the domain space. Kill! Luo Qing bellowed. His robes fluttered in the wind as he charged forward and engaged in battle with the 20 gigantic fire dragons. The power of the origin ancestor realm erupted and shook the heavens and earth. However, under the influence of the absolute domain, the fire dragon's movements slowed down significantly. Luo Qing charged forward, condensing countless terrifying blades that danced endlessly in the air. The fire dragon in front of him was quickly turned into pieces under the frenzied attack. The other fire dragons charged forward. Luo Qing moved his feet and quickly dodged. However, in the end, there was still a huge fire dragon that directly crashed into his back, sending his body flying. Humph! Luo Qing let out a muffled groan. His qi and blood surged, and his gaze became extremely cold. In a hurry, the power of space was activated, causing the remaining fire dragons to slow down. Only then did Luo Qing safely dodge them. On the other side, Lu Yinghong's situation was not much different. Every time a powerful sword light was condensed by him, it would directly cut down a fire dragon and explode it. However, there were too many fire dragons around him. His waist was ruthlessly whipped by a dragon tail. The robe on his body was shattered in the blink of an eye, and some charred marks appeared on his exposed body. The fire dragons were valiant and ferocious. The two experts of the Jade Tripod Alchemy clan moved with all their might and fought with the fire dragons. These two people were indeed at the origin ancestor realm. Although they would occasionally suffer from the fire dragon's attacks, they were not truly injured. They only had some qi and blood surging. Layers of dense spatial power fluctuated from their bodies, causing a strange scene to appear in the flame space. Ripples were everywhere. The two of them had imposing auras, and the prenatal chi in their bodies surged. However, as time passed, their strength was also rapidly consumed. After a long time, the 20 huge fire dragons were destroyed step by step. The two Origin Ancestor Realm experts' auras also weakened a lot. Hold them back for a while. Merciless West's voice sounded in the Li Fire Mystic Yang realm and entered the ears of Su-Yi Green Emperor and the others. Understood. Su-Yi and the Beast Emperors had long been prepared and had been waiting at the auspicious gate. After Merciless West's words fell, everyone was instantly divided into two groups. Green Emperor led the Spirit-Devouring Emperor, the Purple Elephant Emperor, and the Dragon Rhinoceros Emperor into the flames that filled the sky. Yang Ming and Yin Ming had already merged into one, transforming into the huge body of the Yin-Yang Hell Flood Dragon and disappearing with the Black Turtle Emperor. Behind them, Su-Yi and Little Handsome Su also left together. The two groups of people rushed into the two ominous gates at the same time. Luo Qing killed all the fire dragons, and the absolute domain around him also collapsed. Just as he was about to catch his breath, he suddenly raised his eyes. He saw a resplendent green light pressing down from above like a waterfall, ruthlessly lashing out. You actually dare to launch a sneak attack? You're courting death. Luo Qing laughed coldly. In an instant, he lifted his hand and swept out a golden light blade. It whistled as it flew and danced wildly. It seemed as though it could penetrate the world as it completely attacked the green light pillar. In the blink of an eye, it annihilated it into nothingness. However, what followed was another purple fire that covered the sky and covered the earth. It burned fiercely and complemented the flames in the surrounding illusory spirit world. In addition to the purple fire, there was also a burst of dark gold light and an ice-blue energy surging. Several powerful forces surged, especially the ice-blue energy, which made Luo Qing's soul throb a little. His sleeves fluttered as if they contained wind and thunder. Once again, thousands of blades shot out like endless raindrops. Whoosh, 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 a terrifying collision occurred, and various kinds of energy engulfed and entangled with each other. It was as if fireworks had been set off in the space, dazzling and colorful. However, within this dazzling brilliance, there was an incomparable danger. A few beast emperors, die. Luo Qing's gaze was extremely cold. His figure suddenly rose into the air, parting the violent energy that filled the sky as he brazenly charged toward the few beast emperors opposite him. They were only a few emperor-level beast emperors. Although they were very powerful, attacking him in front of a sky origin ancestor was tantamount to suicide. Retreat. However, the beast emperor, who was the first to attack, let out a long roar. Then, it turned around and charged into the raging flames. The other few beast emperors were not slow either. They retreated instantly and disappeared. In the short time that they had delayed, the surrounding flames condensed into a new form. Two substantial walls appeared, one on the left and one on the right, sandwiching Luo Qing in the middle. Within the walls, dozens of ferocious fire dragons appeared and charged toward him at the same time. Humph! How can you stop me? Luo Qing could not help but shout as he watched the few beast emperors disappear. However, at this moment, the two large walls of flames began to move, closing in on the center. They carried an unparalleled pressure and were about to crush him into powder. Roar! At the same time, the 1,000-foot-long fire dragons with sturdy bodies and scales that looked as if they were real charged toward him in an extremely powerful manner. Open up! Luo Qing roared as his absolute territory expanded once again. Invisible space ripples spread out and brazenly collided with the two walls. Rumble, the walls moved horizontally. Although their speed was slow, They emitted an unparalleled force that squeezed Luo Cheng's absolute territory until it was deformed and cracked. Roar! At the same time, dozens of fire dragons charged toward Luo Cheng, their dragon claws leaving black marks in the void. It was a blur as all of them charged toward Luo Cheng at the same time. Faced with two different attacks at the same time, Luo Cheng's face became unprecedentedly solemn. All of the Yuan Qi in his body erupted as he desperately maintained the absolute territory. His body moved horizontally in the void, sweeping out waves of energy blades to fight against the fire dragons that filled the sky. This was a terrifying battle, and Luo Cheng was under unprecedented pressure. Several fire dragons charged toward him, and when he faced them, the absolute territory suddenly loosened. The two terrifying walls of flames suddenly closed the distance of 3 feet, causing the pressure on him to increase again. Open up! Luo Cheng roared again as beads of sweat began to form on his forehead. Even with his cultivation at the Origin Ancestor realm, he could feel a dangerous aura in the Strange Gate illusory spirit world. If he couldn't break the entire Strange Gate illusory spirit world, he would be gradually worn down because the consumption of this kind of resistance was too great. In the other space, Lu Yinghong was in the same situation. His situation was even more miserable than Luo Cheng's. This was because the powerful Yin-Yang Hell Flood Dragon's strength was comparable to that of a half-step Origin Ancestor realm. The sudden attack caused the skin on Lu Yinghong's back to split open. Su Yi and the rest retreated after the attack, buying some time for Merciless West and Lei Yunhe to condense 2 huge walls of flames and dozens of fire dragons. The 2 Origin Ancestor realms moved violently, but their Yuan Qi was rapidly being consumed. They weren't soul manipulators, so they couldn't break the Strange Gate illusory spirit world through the means of a soul manipulator. They would only be passive if they were caught in it. To the people from the Bawang sect, they only needed to consume a large amount of Yuan stones to trap the 2 Origin Ancestor realms. So what if it's the Strange Gate illusory spirit world? It still can't stop me. Luo Cheng roared as the hair on his head danced wildly like a wild lion. Chapter 1197. Ever since Luo Cheng had stepped into the Origin Ancestor realm, he had never encountered such a situation. He was actually trapped by a strange illusory spirit world. His voice pierced through gold and cracked stone, causing the flames in the sky to tremble. Even the 2 flame walls were trembling non-stop. In an instant, the veins all over Luo Cheng's body bulged. The blood vessels on his body swelled and crawled all over his body. His entire face was also covered with thick veins. His origin qi poured out like a great river, bursting forth with great force. A formless force spread out with a boom. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Under this force, the 2 flame walls actually stopped and could not move forward. Boom, 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 boom. The flame dragons in the absolute territory were also squeezed by the formless force and exploded in the void. Even the shattered flames were crushed into nothingness in the blink of an eye. A huge vibration was set off, causing the entire space to shake violently. A loud noise shook the sky. It was as if there was an invisible hand that had grabbed the entirely fire mystic sun realm and was shaking it violently. Clusters of flames fell from the sky, turning into fireballs that filled the sky. This person's cultivation is at least at the 2nd level of the Origin Ancestor realm. In the central area, Merciless West's face was as pale as a sheet of paper, completely devoid of blood. Lei Yunhe, who was beside him, could not see his face, but his aura had also withered a lot. He did not speak. The 2 of them had exhausted their soul energy, but they were still maintaining the operation of the Li Fire Mystic Sun realm. However, they could sense that the middle-aged Origin Ancestor realm man's body seemed to be bleeding. His skin was completely red, and his eyeballs were about to pop out of their sockets. He looked extremely terrifying. "Hold on," We must not let him break through the Lee Fire Mystic Sun realm so easily. Merciless West clenched his teeth tightly as he felt a huge pressure. He had never faced an Origin Ancestor realm opponent head-on. It was his first time facing one with the illusory spirit world. However, he deeply understood that the Lee Fire Mystic Sun realm should not be able to truly stop the two Origin Ancestor realms. What he had to do now was to exhaust their strength as much as possible. Otherwise, it would be extremely dangerous to face the two of them head-on. Even if all the Emperor-level powerhouses of the Bawang sect swarmed them, they wouldn't be enough to kill them. Merciless West hastily took out a bottle of spirit liquid and drank it. Her soul power continued to boil. Lei Yunhe, who was at the side, did not make a sound. He was also doing his best. Rumble, the Lee Fire Mystic Yang realm trembled non-stop. The two flaming walls around Luo Qing stopped moving, but they were still erupting with monstrous power. This old man also wants to know how long this Bawang sect can hold off the two of us. In another fiery space, Lu Yinghong's aged voice rang out. That pair of originally somewhat turbid eyes, at this moment, blossomed with an incomparably bright light, as if lightning was shooting out violently. Feeling the terrifying vibrations, his wrinkled skin instantly swelled up as if it had been inflated. His veins popped out, and his heart beat like a drum, shaking the void. He exerted all his strength and expanded his absolute territory to block the flaming walls. As the two Origin Ancestor realms attacked with all their strength, the flaming walls were quickly blocked. The flaming dragons were all squeezed into nothingness by the absolute territory and no longer existed. Open! Luo Qing roared. His teeth were chattering, and his eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. Relying on his powerful cultivation, he began to push the flaming walls outwards. The flaming walls moved in the opposite direction, emitting a sound that sounded like metal rubbing against each other. It made one's teeth ache. The two Origin Ancestor realm powerhouses' limbs were trembling, as if they were bearing the crushing weight of a mountain. Their muscles and muscles felt like they were about to explode. Under the blazing heat, they were boiling like red-hot soldering iron. Before their sweat could even form, it evaporated and disappeared. The walls were moving and being pushed aside by a great force. The Lee Fire Mystic Yang realm trembled non-stop, and the void became blurry due to the tremors. It was a terrifying sight. Open! As they shouted again, Luo Qing and Lu Yinghong exerted all their strength at the same time. A fierce and domineering aura rushed out of their bodies like a flash flood and poured into the absolute territory. The robes on their bodies were blown apart, turning into strips of cloth that hung on their bodies. Boom! With a loud bang, an unparalleled force burst out from the Lee Fire Mystic Yang realm and rose into the sky, forming a huge cloud of smoke and dust. A vast amount of energy poured out from the cloud like a long river and crazily spread to the surroundings. With the mine as the center, within a radius of 50 to 60 miles, there was a violent tremor. Oh no, quickly block it! The people from Xianjian sect and Liuhe sect, who had been waiting quietly in the distance, were shocked. Each of them used their own strength to block the impact of the air wave, and at the same time, they retreated rapidly. Vaguely, they saw a few figures being blown out from the cloud and thrown high into the sky. At the center of the Lee Fire Mystic Yang realm, the domineering force swept across and pressed Merciless West and Lei Yunhe to the ground. The stone platform under them exploded and turned into dust. The ground below them was also scraped by more than 5 feet. Fortunately, they reacted quickly and set up a primordial qi shield around their bodies, so they were not directly crushed. However, the robe and hat on Lei Yunhe's body were torn apart by the terrifying force. After stabilizing, the two of them spat out a mouthful of blood at the same time, and their faces were pale. Sui, you brat! Merciless West rolled on the ground and struggled to get up. His body suddenly shook and he almost fell down. He looked at the sky, trying to find Su-yi and the others in the endless smoke and dust. Lei Yunhe was lying on the ground, unable to move for a long time. The Li Fire Mystic Yang realm was broken. It was forcefully opened by the absolute strength of the two origin ancestors. If it was an ordinary 5th or 6th level origin monarch that was at the center of the explosion, they would have been killed in the blink of an eye. With Su-yi's cultivation, even if he had 10 lives, it would not be enough for him to survive. However, Merciless West knew that the brat's physical body was extraordinary, and he had many ways to protect himself. He did not know if anything would happen to him. The smoke and dust was extremely thick and did not dissipate for a long time. Far away from the mine, many experts who had rushed over were shocked by the commotion. What a terrifying power! What kind of power is this? Some of the rogue cultivators who wanted to get closer to watch were extremely shocked. They were extremely glad that the countless savage beasts were driving them away and preventing them from getting close to the mine. Otherwise, with the terrifying force just now, if they stayed close, they would be injured even if they did not die. A battle of that level was not something that they could participate in with their cultivation. Even watching would be extremely dangerous. The Bawang sect's Li Fire Mystic Yang realm has been broken. I wonder how the situation is. Let's go quickly. Among the crowd that had rushed over, Elder Xie of the Blue Cloud Hall had a solemn expression as he said in a deep voice. Then, he quickly led the group of experts around him and rushed to the mine. Su-yi, you can't die just like that. In another place, Elder Bai of the Blood Sun sect's eyes flickered as he muttered. He did not want Su-yi to die. At the very least, he could not die elsewhere because the various benefits on the other party had not fallen into his hands yet. Little bastard, don't fall into my hands. The Heavenly Dipper sect was about to reach the mine. Hong Qianlung's eyes were filled with resentment as he said coldly. He did not believe that Su-yi would die so easily. That little bastard was different and could not be underestimated. However, Hong Qianlung believed that Su-yi would definitely not be able to escape the attack of the origin ancestors of the Jade Tripod sect. Let's go. With a wave of his hand, he led several origin emperors of the Heavenly Dipper sect and rushed to the mine. In other places, many people from other factions who had rushed over were all moving quickly. Elder Tang of the 9 Stars Valley was traveling alone. After feeling the boundless power burst out, he did not say a word and continued to move forward. Behind him, there were 2 other elderly figures following closely behind him. They had come with the orders of the 9 Star Valley's Valley Master. Kid, are you all right? In the sky above the mine, the smoke and dust had yet to dissipate. Su-yi was thrown high into the sky. At this moment, a beautiful woman appeared beside him, grabbed his shoulder, and asked, "Thank you, Sister Fairy. I'm fine." After stabilizing his body, Su-yi shook his head. His mind was in a daze, and his ears were ringing non-stop. The demon god battle armor had appeared on his body at some point in time, completely protecting his body. In addition to the strength of the diamond body, Su-yi did not suffer any serious injuries. However, under that terrifying shock, he could not recover for a long time. "It's good that you're fine. I'll go take a look at that old bastard." Impermanence Fairy looked at the armor on Su-yi's body in surprise, but she did not ask any more questions. After that, she ignored him and directly drilled into the smoke and dust below, disappearing without a trace. "Master! Boss!" After a while, Su Xiaoshui, Green Emperor, Yang Ming, Yin Ming, Spirit-Devouring Emperor, Purple Elephant Emperor, Dragon Rhinoceros Emperor, and Mystic Turtle Emperor quickly surrounded him. Their cultivations were powerful, and none of them were seriously injured. However, under the domineering impact, they were also injured to a certain extent. Fortunately, it was not serious. "The Li Fire Mystic Yang realm has been broken," Su-yi muttered. His gaze passed through the layers of smoke and dust that were dissipating. He could vaguely see that the mountain below was already flat, as if it had been reclaimed by cows. The original mine tunnels were all buried and no longer existed. I wonder how the two people from the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect are doing. Green Emperor's expression was solemn as he looked around, but he did not see anyone for a moment. Let's go down and see how Big Brother and Old Lay are doing. Sui did not care about this. After his mind had calmed down a little, he led everyone down. Chapter 1198. Kid, are you all right? After a moment, when Sui landed in front of her, Merciless West asked weakly. In front of him, Impermanence Fairy stood with a trace of unconcealable heartache and worry on her face. Big Brother, how are you? Sui frowned. Merciless West was sitting on the ground, and her condition did not look good, which made him worried. His gaze swept over again. Lei Yunhe was curled up on the ground, breathing with difficulty and coughing up blood. Big Brother, you and Old Lei go treat your injuries. Leave the rest to us. Su Yi's eyes narrowed as he said in a deep voice. He did not care about Impermanence Fairy's presence. Taking advantage of the smoke and dust in the air, he opened up the mysterious space and brought his big brother, Merciless West, and Lei Yunhe in. Kid, take this. It will definitely be of great use. After entering the mysterious space, Merciless West suddenly threw a space bag to Sui and said. Sui received it and was a little confused. When he opened it, he was stunned on the spot. Soul Manipulation Talisman. So many soul manipulation talismans. Sui almost screamed, and he almost dropped the interspatial bag in his hand. That's right, the space bag that his big brother, Merciless West, gave him was filled with a large number of soul manipulation talismans. At a glance, there were at least 200 to 300 of them. Kid, these are the soul manipulation talismans that I've rushed to make in the past few days. There are a total of 203 of them. 260 of them have the power of my full strength attack. The other 2 are a little stronger than my full strength attack. The last one is the Soul Manipulation Talisman Shield. Use it at a critical moment. In order to make these, I used up the remaining Soul Essence Purple Fire Pill. So this time, don't disappoint me. Teach those 2 old dogs a good lesson for me. Merciless West looked at Sui and said. Sui's eyes twitched. He hadn't expected this at all. He did not know when the Spirit Treasure Pavilion had sent over the refining materials, but at this time, he figured out one thing. That was, his elder brother suddenly ran to the vicinity of the Jade Tripod Alchemy sect to look for him and entered the mysterious space. It turned out that he wanted to use the giant soul stone there to refine these soul-controlling killing talismans. The most terrifying thing was that the 260 of them had the power of a full-powered attack from him. The last 3 were even more ferocious. Su Yi's hand, which was holding the spatial bag, trembled slightly. With these soul-controlling killing talismans, he would have a better chance of dealing with the 2 origin ancestors outside. He tried his best to calm his excitement and walked out of the mysterious space. Anika Fairy watched as Sui walked out of the ball of light in front of him. Merciless West and Lei Yunhe did not appear again. She could not help but be shocked. Good boy, no wonder that old bastard said you have a lot of treasures on you. That was probably an independent space just now, wasn't it? Impermanence Fairy raised her eyebrows and asked in astonishment. I'll tell Sister Fairy about this in the future. Sui did not explain anything. He turned around and looked around, wanting to find the figures of the 2 origin ancestors. Breaking the Li Fire Mystic Yang realm was definitely not an easy task for the 2 of them because they were not powerful soul-controlling masters. Moreover, Sui believed that as the people who were besieged, the terrifying impact at the end would definitely injure the 2 of them. They're fine. That's great. In the distance, More than 10 people from the Xianjian sect and the Liuhe sect approached again. When they saw Su Yi and the others appear from afar, they could not help but heave a sigh of relief. The momentum of the illusory soul world being broken through just now was too terrifying. Fortunately, many of the Bawang sect's emperors were very powerful and were not injured. Ji Tianfu and Lin Zhenyang were somewhat glad. Fortunately, Su Yi did not let them directly get involved. Otherwise, more than half of the people from the two sects would have died. One had to know that most of them were still at the initial stage of the Origin Emperor realm. They could not withstand such a vast power. I wonder how the two Origin Ancestor realm cultivators of the Jade Tripod sect are doing? Lin Zhenyang muttered as his gaze wandered around. Su Yi and the others were also searching for traces of the two of them. Good. Very good. At this moment, a voice like this sounded in the void. It sounded extremely ethereal, and no one knew where it came from. Su Yi, Green Emperor, and the others were all in high spirit. They could tell that this voice was from the middle-aged man from the Jade Tripod sect. What a Bawang sect! You really surprised me. Soon another voice sounded. It was also erratic and could not be found. The words of the two people, one after the other, were filled with unparalleled fury. Swoosh! In the next moment, a light breeze suddenly blew past, quickly blowing away all the smoke and dust on the mountain. Under the gazes of Su Yi, Su Xiaoshui, Impermanence Fairy, and the others, two figures appeared in the sky and stood side by side. One was a middle-aged man, and the other was an old man. They were the two Origin Emperors of the Jade Tripod sect. However, the two of them were currently dressed in rags, and pieces of cloth were hanging on their bodies. Their faces were even completely black. Most conspicuous of it all was that their skin was covered in bloodstains and tainted with dust, causing them to be in an extremely sorry state and seem like beggars on the streets of the mortal world. However, after seeing the two of them, Su Yi's expression froze. Su Xiaoshui, Green Emperor, Yang Ming, Yin Ming, and the other Beast Emperors also instantly surged their auras and prepared for battle. Even Impermanence Fairy's body faintly tensed up. They knew that although the two of them were in a sorry state, they were still Origin Ancestor realm experts. Their cultivation was extremely terrifying, and they definitely could not be underestimated. The Jade Tripod sect seems to be nothing more than that. While Su Yi's heart was solemn, he sneered and mocked them without hiding his mockery. A group of clay chickens and pottery dogs can't even withstand a single blow. Now, two old dogs have jumped out to bite people. Your Jade Tripod sect is probably only capable of this much. His eyes flashed as he looked at the two people above him. He was not afraid at all. The death feud with the Jade Tripod sect had long been formed. There was no room for negotiation. Even if he was facing two Origin Ancestor realm experts, Su Yi would not admit defeat. Hearing Su Yi's words, the expressions of the two Origin Ancestor realm experts changed. Bastard! Ignorant brat! How dare you spout such nonsense? Lu Yinghong was the first to fly into a rage as he opened his eyes and shouted. He had lived for so long, but this was the first time someone had called him an old dog. This made Lu Yinghong furious, and he was about to go berserk. Kid, you are probably the sect master of the Bawang sect, Su Yi. How dare you kill dozens of Origin Emperors of the Jade Tripod sect? Your death is not to be regretted. Beside him, Luo Cheng also had a gloomy expression as he asked coldly. He was relatively calm and only stared fiercely at Su Yi. While he was angry, he was also filled with incomparable surprise. The kid opposite him looked too young. He was only in his teens, but he actually had the ability to cause heavy losses to the Jade Tripod sect. Dozens of Origin Emperors were killed and their bones were severely injured. In the eyes of anyone else, this was an unimaginable thing. Most importantly, the two Origin Ancestor realm experts had attacked at the same time and actually fell into the illusory spirit world. Although they had forcefully broken through, they had also suffered extremely heavy injuries and lost more than half of their combat strength. It had to be said that this small Bawang sect had surprised them too much. The Jade Tripod sect provoked me first. Since some things have been done, you have to bear the consequences. Don't you understand this principle? Su-yi did not dodge. He met Luo Cheng's fierce gaze and said coldly. His entire body was filled with an absolute domineering aura. His body stood straight like a long spear, and a brazen aura pierced through the sky. His still young face was filled with an unyielding will that would rather break than bend. It was shocking. When the two Origin Ancestor Realm experts of the Jade Tripod sect saw this, they could not help but be stunned for a moment. This little youth was truly extraordinary. In fact, for Su-yi there were some things that he could choose to endure. He could temporarily avoid those powerful enemies. However, if it involved the people he cared about, then there was no room for negotiation. Ji Hanua was captured and almost humiliated. This was something that he could not forgive. Whether it was the Green Sanctuary sect or the Jade Tripod sect, they had to pay an absolute price for this. What a sharp-tongued kid! Luo Cheng's expression was still as gloomy as water. His gaze was like a sharp knife as he looked at Su-yi. He said word by word, "Unfortunately, the strength of your Bawang sect is nothing more than a whisper. Becoming enemies with my Jade Tripod sect is only courting death. Today, I'd like to see what other abilities you have to escape death." As he spoke, a ferocious aura spread out from his body and spread out in the void. In an instant, Su-yi and the others, who were still far away, immediately felt that it was difficult to breathe. The air seemed to have frozen under Luo Cheng's might, and everyone felt as if they had fallen into a swamp. "Kid, do you need my help? But you have to pay me." Beside Su-yi, Impermanence Fairy looked ahead and said softly. Su-yi looked at her in surprise. He did not expect Impermanence Fairy to take the initiative to help. It's naturally best if Impermanence Fairy can help. As for the reward, I definitely won't shortchange you. Su-yi nodded and said, "All right. Then today, I'll give it a try and see how powerful the true Origin Ancestor Realm is." A cold aura rose from Impermanence Fairy Yuchohan's body, and it was instantly covered in frost. The surrounding hundreds of feet seemed to have instantly entered the coldest winter, and it was bone-chilling. A long spear appeared in her hand. The shaft of the spear was sparkling and translucent, as if it was made of ice. A speck of scarlet bloomed at the tip of the spear, as if a bloody light was shooting out. Everyone from the Bawang sect must disappear from this world. On the opposite side, Lu Yinghong shouted in a deep voice. Under the fluctuation of the prenatal qi on his body, it turned into a blazing scarlet flame. It burned fiercely, and the void was somewhat blurry and distorted. His old body stood upright and took a step forward. It was as if he was stepping on the veins of the world, causing a huge shock. Chi-Chi Luo Cheng also moved. Boundless sharp metal aura whistled, and countless astral blades carried an extremely sharp aura. Like thousands of colorful butterflies dancing in the air, they suddenly attacked and charged towards Su-yi and the others. Chapter 1199. Kill! Yuchohan's eyes narrowed, and her murderous aura shot up into the sky. She was obviously a weak woman, but she exuded an aura of absolute valiance. Holding the long spear in her hand, she took the lead and attacked. Behind her, the Green Emperor and the other Beast Emperors rushed out at the same time and transformed into their true forms. Yang Ming and Yin Ming merged into one and transformed into the huge body of the Yin Yang Hell Dragon. They brought the Purple Elephant Emperor, the Dragon Rhino Emperor, and the Black Turtle Emperor to meet Luo Cheng, and a terrifying battle instantly broke out. Impermanence Fairy, Yuchohan, the Green Emperor, the Devouring Spirit Emperor, and Su Xiaoshui attacked Lu Yinghong together. With the spear in her hand, Impermanence Fairy's icy aura surged and pierced into Lu Yinghong's absolute territory, tearing a small gap. The Green Emperor's snake tail followed closely behind and slammed into the gap, tearing a 5-foot-long crack. Su Xiaoshui flapped his wings, and flames flashed in the sky, burning the crack even further. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the spirit-devouring emperor launched a soul attack that could penetrate every opening. A flaming tiger rushed out of Lu Yinghong's body and charged at the 4 of them. On the other side, the yin-yang hell dragon's scales were dense, and black and white lights turned into sharp swords. He led the other 3 beast emperors and fought fiercely with Luo Cheng. Lights of various colors shot out and turned into attacks that penetrated the heavens and earth. They flew between heaven and earth, as if they wanted to pierce through the heavens and destroy the earth. The earth-shattering battle had begun. This was a terrifying battle that was rarely seen. Under normal circumstances, Origin Ancestor Realm experts rarely appeared in the world. Under normal circumstances, they would be in seclusion all year round or walk the world in a low-key manner. They rarely appeared unless there was a major event. But today there were 2 Origin Ancestor Realm experts here at the same time. However, both of them were severely injured. Su Yi's eyes flashed as he looked at all of this. After a moment, he directly descended from the void and stood on the flattened mine. The Purple Elephant Emperor, the Dragon Rhino Emperor, the Black Turtle Emperor. How did these 3 powerful beast emperors join the Bawang sect? In the distance, the people of Xianjian sect and Liuhe sect were extremely shocked. They all knew that the Bawang sect had several powerful beast emperors, but they were limited to the Green Emperor, the Yin-Yang Underworld Emperor, and the Devouring Spirit Emperor. As for the Purple Elephant Emperor and the others, he had never seen them before. He had never expected them to become members of the Bawang sect. The strength of these 3 beast emperors is also much stronger than before. Lin Zhenyang's eyes flickered as he spoke, his heart throbbing with endless emotions. The Green Emperor and the other beast emperors were already strong, but now they seemed to be even more terrifying than the legends. Ji Tianfu was the clearest about this. Back then, outside the secret realm of ominous spirits, he had seen the Green Emperor and the others in action. Moreover, the Yin-Yang Emperor of the Underworld had split into 2 people, and could even merge into 1. His battle prowess had increased sharply, which was unimaginable. Sect Master, should we make a move? The old man looked at Ji Tianfu and asked solemnly, "What do you think?" The injuries on his body had almost recovered, and he had gathered with the people of the Xianjian sect. At this time, the battlefield was abnormally intense. Although the Bawang sect was full of vigor, they could not gain any advantage. "We can't interfere at all." Ji Tianfu looked at the terrifying center of the battlefield and said with emotion. Putting aside the 2 Origin Grandmasters of the Jade Tripod sect, just the few beast emperors of the Bawang sect were all extremely powerful. There was also the rumored Impermanence Fairy, who was also extremely ferocious. Even if the Xianjian sect and Liuhe sect wanted to help at this time, they would not be of much use. Instead, they might drag the Bawang sect down. Let's watch first. We'll talk about it when it's necessary. Lin Zhenyang's eyes were burning as he said so. They could not participate in the battle over there, but at the final critical moment, they might need to make a move and seal the situation in one fell swoop. No one spoke a word. They all watched this terrifying battle with extremely shocked gazes. Everyone's heart was filled with a lingering feeling of shock that could not be erased. They saw that the bodies of those beast emperors were incomparably huge. They flashed in the void like mountains moving horizontally. As for the 2 Origin Grandmasters of the Jade Tripod sect, they spread out their absolute domains and firmly restrained the group of beast emperors of the Bawang sect. If not for the fact that the 2 of them were injured, they would have been invincible just by relying on the domain power unique to the Origin Grandmasters. Even with so many powerful beast emperors, they could not withstand a few of their attacks. Where is Su Yi going? Suddenly, Ji Tianfu, Lin Zhenyang, and the others saw that Su Yi, who was originally watching the battle from afar, had landed directly in the mountain range. Below was a huge mine. However, with the explosion of the Li Fire Mystic Yang realm, it had already turned into a flat land. That guy doesn't have any backup plans, does he? Ji Tianfu's eyes suddenly raised as he made such a guess. However, he immediately shook his head. In order to deal with the attack of the Origin Grandmasters, the Bawang sect had already displayed the ferociously fire mystic Yang realm. He really could not think of any other better way. Under the puzzled gazes of Ji Tianfu and the others, Su Yi suddenly stepped forward when Luo Qing completely repelled the Yin-Yang Abyss Flood Dragon, the Purple Elephant Emperor, and the others, and his eyes were filled with inexplicable ferocity. Have a good taste of this thing. As soon as these words came out of his mouth, Su Yi suddenly took out several strange objects from his space bag. Along with the activation of the Origin energy in his palm, he suddenly smashed them toward Luo Qing. Seeing those things flying over, Luo Qing's eyes could not help but shrink. However, before he could react, he heard a few explosive sounds that shook the sky. Accompanied by a powerful energy impact, they exploded from the small objects. For a moment, an aura that could topple mountains and overturn seas spread out and shook crazily. Qi La, under this tyrannical power, wave-like ripples appeared in the absolute domain space before it was torn apart. Luo Qing's figure could not help but retreat as his heart trembled. Soul Manipulation Killing Talisman. This is the Soul Manipulation Killing Talisman. In the distance, Ji Tianfu, Lin Zhenyang, and the others were all stunned. They had not expected Su Yi to actually take out several soul manipulation killing talismans, which caught Luo Qing off guard and caused him to be slightly shocked. The soul manipulation killing talisman was extremely powerful. Looking at it, it definitely had the power of a half-step Origin Grandmaster. I'm afraid it won't be of much use. The soul manipulation killing talisman should not be able to deal with the two of them. After a while, Lin Zhenyang laughed bitterly. Everyone knew that the soul manipulation killing talisman was powerful, but it would not be of much use when dealing with a true elite. Especially when the Bawang sect's opponents were two Origin Grandmasters. Relying on the strength of a half-step Origin Grandmaster, they would not be much of a threat to them. Little bastard, do you think that you can deal with me with just a few soul manipulation killing talismans? In the sky, Luo Qing sneered as he looked at Su Yi with disdain. Old dog, you'll know once you try. Su Yi's lips curled into a cold smile. Seeing that Luo Qing was charging towards him, he could not help but retreat with all his might. Coincidentally, the Yin-Yang Hell Flood Dragon and the other three Beast Emperors arrived and blocked Luo Qing in an instant. Looks like the number is still not enough. After Su Yi retreated, his gaze turned to the other side as he muttered to himself. He looked at the battle between Wuchang Ferry and the others and Lu Yinghong with a burning gaze. It was also extremely intense. The difference in strength between the two sides was huge. With the strength of Wuchang Ferry, Green Emperor, and the others, they were quickly pushed back. However, Su Yi signaled them not to fight recklessly and to conserve their strength. Seeing an opening, he took out 10 soul manipulation killing talismans and threw them at Lu Yinghong. Boom, 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 boom. Terrifying explosions reverberated, shaking the void and causing the sky to tremble. The absolute space outside Lu Yinghong's body was torn apart in an instant, which made him furious. Good lad, teach him a lesson for me. Wuchang Fairy laughed loudly as she raised her long spear and attacked brazenly. The battle on both sides was extremely intense. Waves of energy shot up into the sky and whistled through the sky. It was as if thousands of mountains were collapsing and thousands of waves were roaring. It was extremely terrifying. Su-yi was like a ghost, constantly moving between the two sides. He always had a space bag in his hand, which contained more than 200 soul manipulation killing talismans. He took the opportunity to throw himself at Luo Qing and Lu Yinghong, tearing open the absolute space. Taking advantage of such opportunities, Wuchang Fairy and the other beast emperors bravely attacked. They approached the two origin ancestor powerhouses time and time again and attacked. Su-yi and the others quickly formed a tacit understanding. As long as the beast emperors were pushed back, he would take the opportunity to throw out the soul manipulation killing talismans. Then, he would immediately retreat and go to the other side. In the beginning, he threw out about 10 soul manipulation killing talismans each time. Later on, he grabbed them and threw out about 20 talismans with a shake of his hand. Terrifying energy exploded, shaking the heavens and earth as it whistled through the sky. The absolute space was torn apart again and again, causing Luo Qing and Lu Yinghong to roar in anger. They were greatly shaken. Under such circumstances, their strength was also greatly depleted. How many soul manipulation killing talismans does this guy have? The people from Xianjian sect and Liuhe sect were extremely shocked. However, after a few rounds, they saw that Su-yi had thrown out no less than 100 soul manipulation killing talismans. The monstrous aura spread out as if it could destroy the heavens and earth. "Little bastard, I'm going to tear you apart!" Luo Qing was extremely furious as he opened his mouth and roared. The two of them were already severely injured after the illusory spirit world was broken. Now that they were attacked by the soul manipulation killing talismans, their injuries worsened. Facing the fierce attacks of the four beast emperors, Yin-Yang Hell Flood Dragon, Purple Elephant Emperor, Dragon Rhinoceros Emperor, and Black Tortoise Emperor, Luo Qing ignored them and rushed directly towards Su-yi. Under this young man's harassment, he was furious. Luo Qing's eyes surged with boundless killing intent. He wanted to get rid of this young man first. "Your opponent is us." Chapter 1200. The four beast emperors moved and surrounded Luo Yunyang. However, Luo Qing seemed to have steeled his heart. His speed was even faster. With a wave of his sleeve, a terrifying wind blade flew out, like a dense swarm of mosquitoes, pouncing towards Su-yi's head. "It's not that easy to kill me." Su-yi's eyes were cold. With a flip of his wrist, dozens of soul manipulation killing talismans were thrown out. The talismans exploded the moment they came into contact with the wind blades. Amidst the loud explosion, the thousands of wind blades were crushed into nothingness. Ugh, however, this time, the soul manipulation killing talismans exploded a little closer to him, causing Su-yi to feel quite a bit of shock. He let out a muffled groan as his face paled significantly. Where are you going?" Luo Qing snorted coldly as he shook off the Yin-Yang Hell Flood Dragon and the others' pursuit. However, what came after him was another wave of soul manipulation killing talismans from Su-yi. After the terrifying explosion, he let out a furious roar. One soul manipulation killing talisman could not cause him much harm, but dozens of them together were enough to threaten him. Although this threat was far from fatal, it would still consume a lot of yuan qi. "And you, old dog, come and have a taste of it." Su-yi took advantage of the time Luo Qing was blocked by the soul manipulation killing talismans to get close to Lu Yinghong. He threw out a handful of soul manipulation killing talismans, which exploded with dazzling light and surging energy. When he got close, Wuchang Fairy, the Green Emperor, the Devouring Spirit Emperor, and Su Xiaoshui had already dodged. "Little bastard, you must die today." Under the terrifying explosion, Lu Yinghong's absolute territory was torn apart. The surging energy hit his body, causing him to bleed profusely. "Let's attack together and kill this brat first." Luo Qing roared as he went berserk. The two origin ancestors no longer cared about the encirclement of the beast emperors and charged toward Su Yi at the same time. Brat, watch out! Master, watch out! Boss, watch out! Everyone was horrified, and they all began to shout loudly. If the two sky origin ancestors caught up to Su Yi, there would be no way for him to escape. You can't kill me. Su Yi couldn't care too much. He threw out the soul manipulation killing talismans one after another. At the same time, his figure retreated rapidly. He summoned the demon god battlesuit to protect his body, blocking most of the explosion's impact. But even so, he still suffered injuries that could not be ignored, and they were getting worse and worse. The soul manipulation talisman was too powerful, not something Su Yi could withstand with his current strength. Even if he had the demon god battle armor and the diamond physique, it was still not enough. Little bastard, let's see where you can run to now. As for Luo Qing and Luinghong, they felt even worse. Every time a soul manipulation killing talisman was used, all the power had to be withstood by them. Even the two origin ancestor realm experts found it difficult to endure such repeated bombardments. If Su Yi really had a few thousand of these soul manipulation killing talismans, they would be exhausted to death if this continued. Not long after, both Luo Qing and Luinghong's flesh were torn and blood flowed from their wounds. Kill. The two of them were enraged as they attacked in a frenzy. Are they almost used up? Su Yi mumbled as he held the spatial bag in his hand. The soul manipulation killing talismans were almost used up. There were only a dozen left. Among them, there were two red soul manipulation killing talismans and another soul manipulation talisman shield. Since that's the case, I'll let you have one last time. He focused his gaze and took out all the soul manipulation killing talismans in one go. This time, he didn't run away. Instead, he waited quietly for Luo Qing and Luinghong to reach him. When they saw that Su Yi had stopped running away, the two origin ancestor realm experts instantly froze and realized that something was wrong. However, it was too late. They were less than 10 feet away from the young man. Kill. The corners of Su Yi's mouth curled up into a cold smile. With a loud shout, he threw out all the remaining soul manipulation killing talismans. Boom, 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 a terrifying explosion reverberated in the air as if it was the end of the world. A huge shockwave swept through everything in its path. The two origin ancestor realm experts' absolute domains were instantly torn to shreds, exposing the two of them to the boundless energy waves. Among the dozen soul manipulation killing talismans, 2 of them were red. They had been refined by merciless West with all his might and were even more powerful than his full-strength attack. This kind of power all hit Luo Qing and Luinghong. Master, boss, the Green Emperor, Handsome Su, and the rest weren't surprised. Instead, they were all shocked. Su Yi was too close to the two of them. If the soul manipulation killing talisman's power was used on him, it would definitely cause fatal injuries. However, the moment the energy exploded, a green glow rose from where Su Yi was and formed a tight shield that firmly enveloped his body. Boom, 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 or when all the energy dissipated, a figure fell from the sky and only managed to stabilize himself when he was about to hit the ground. This figure was Su Yi. He clutched his chest as he landed on the ore mine. That's the soul manipulation talisman shield. Handsome Su, the Green Emperor, and the rest were overjoyed. Su Yi's life was not in danger under the protection of the soul manipulation talisman shield. That's great. In the distance, the people from Xianjian sect and Liuhe sect were also overjoyed. They were relieved that Su Yi was fine. What the young man had done today was too shocking. The two origin ancestor realm experts were actually heavily injured and their auras were much weaker than before. This is too terrifying. So many soul manipulation killing talismans were used. The top powers from the two sects were shocked, but they felt inexplicably refreshed. They had never seen such a battle before. Today was the first time they had seen it, and they were shocked. "It's up to you guys now." On the Ormine, Sui clutched his chest as he spoke softly. Even with the help of the soul manipulation talisman shield, he was still heavily injured and could no longer fight. "Let us deal with these two old dogs." Handsome Su's voice rang out. He flapped his wings and charged towards the two Origin Ancestor Realm experts with Wuchang Fairy and the group of Beast Emperors. "There are no more soul manipulation killing talismans, right?" Luo Qing and Luing Hong's expressions were cold. After glancing at Sui, they no longer paid any attention to him and turned to fight with the group of Beast Emperors. A terrifying battle continued. This time, the two Origin Ancestor Realm experts were heavily injured and were no longer as arrogant as before. "I wonder if the Bawang sect can really stop the two of them this time." The older elder's eyes flickered as he muttered. The remaining strength of the two Origin Ancestor Realm experts was only about 30 to 40% of their peak strength. Such a terrifying loss was extremely dangerous for the two of them. It's hard to say. After all, the two of them are Origin Ancestor Realm experts. It's still too difficult to kill them. Ji Tianfu added and shook his head. Lin Zhenyang nodded silently in agreement. That was indeed the case. The Origin Ancestor Realm experts were too strong. As time passed, the battle became more intense. However, the situation on the battlefield was not in the Bawang sect's favor. The two Origin Ancestor Realm experts, who had been enraged by the soul manipulation killing talisman, gradually calmed down. As long as the young man did not have the soul manipulation killing talisman, there was nothing to fear. Although the Beast Emperors were strong, they were only Emperor Realm experts and could not be compared to the two Origin Ancestor Realm experts. "Oh no. I'm afraid the Beast Emperors will not be able to hold on." After a long while, the battle became even more intense. The two Origin Ancestor Realm experts had regained their usual aura and demeanor. Even though their strength had been greatly reduced, they were definitely not opponents that the Emperor Realm experts could truly fight against. An extremely strong dark gold dragon rhino stomped its 4 hooves in the void. Every step it took was like a mountain crashing down. It was as if a majestic mountain was moving as it ruthlessly charged toward Luo Qing. An unparalleled ferocious aura erupted. The horn on the Dragon Rhino Emperor's head emitted a dazzling dark gold light. Like an awl, it pierced fiercely into the absolute domain. However, its body froze in an instant and its speed decreased greatly. A terrifying pressure surged over, pressing down on his skin and flesh to the point where blood flowed out. "Humph!" Luo Qing snorted coldly. After dodging the yin-yang hell flood dragon's tail attack, his body flew out and instantly closed in on the Dragon Rhino Emperor. Then, he landed a heavy blow on the Dragon Rhino Emperor's head. Moo! The sound of a bull's moo was earth-shattering. The Dragon Rhino Emperor's huge body rolled out and created terrifying ripples in the void. Its terrifying aura was instantly crushed into nothingness. "The people of the Bawang sect must die." These words came out of Luo Qing's mouth. Borrowing the recoil from the Dragon Rhino Emperor, his body flew backward. The tattered clothes on his body fluttered in the wind, revealing a unique and domineering aura. "Kill!" He suddenly appeared in the vicinity of the Purple Elephant Emperor, and the power of his absolute domain firmly confined the gigantic purple flame-raging elephant. Then, he reached out with one hand, and like a god reaching out to grab the moon, he grabbed the Purple Elephant Emperor's whip-like elephant trunk and pierced his 5 fingers into the flesh of the elephant trunk. "Rise!" Luo Qing's roar reverberated. He bent his arm and dragged the Purple Elephant Emperor's mountain-like body. Then, he swung it up and threw it out ruthlessly. Boom! The Purple Elephant Emperor's body, which was 100 times bigger than Luo Qing's body, instantly drew a straight line and smashed into the Black Turtle Emperor, who was taking the opportunity to attack. The collision of the two beast emperors caused an earth-shattering roar. It was as if a mountain had been overturned. They rolled out at the same time and only stopped after flying a few hundred feet. Damn it! Seeing this scene, the Yin-Yang Hell Flood Dragon opened his mouth and roared. His roar was earth-shattering. The Flood Dragon's tail came down from above and struck ferociously, aiming straight for Luo Cheng's head. The mighty force was torrential, and a strong wind was created out of thin air. It was as if it could split open the sky. After defeating 3 beast emperors consecutively, Luo Cheng did not manage to dodge the attack of the Flood Dragon's tail this time. He pounced forward in an attempt to dodge, but the Flood Dragon's tail still landed heavily on his back. Bang! Pft! Chapter 1201. The Yin-Yang Hell Flood Dragon's strength was almost at the level of a half-step origin ancestor. Even Luo Cheng, who was already severely injured, could not withstand such an attack. His back was slightly bent, and his head was lowered. However, his ferocious eyes were raised, and blood dripped from the corner of his mouth as he stared at the incoming black and white light beam. "Get out of my way!" Luo Cheng roared like a thunderclap. The absolute territory suddenly contracted, and the black and white light beam emitted an ear-piercing buzzing sound as cracks appeared. Another wave of terrifying blades swept across, and the entire black and white light beam was shattered into pieces by the absolute territory's absolute territory. Luo Cheng's body was already upright. He stepped forward and met the Yin-Yang Hell Emperor head-on. The man and the Flood Dragon engaged in a life-and-death battle. The black and white light beams and countless blades spun around, creating a terrifying scene. In the end, Luo Cheng's chest was torn apart by the Yin-Yang Hell Flood Dragon's claws. His flesh was torn open, and blood and flesh flew everywhere. At the same time, he slapped the Yin-Yang Abyss Flood Dragon's head and sent it flying. The Flood Dragon's enormous body tumbled endlessly in the void like a mountain ridge. Kill! At this moment, the Purple Elephant Emperor, the Dragon Rhinoceros Emperor, and the Black Turtle Emperor caught their breaths and attacked again. The Purple Elephant Emperor's trunk was curled and drooped down weakly. Large patches of flesh and blood were exposed on his body. It was extremely terrifying. A deep dent appeared on the Dragon Rhinoceros Emperor's head. His left eye was red and swollen, and he could barely open it. On the Black Turtle Emperor's back, a palm-wide crack appeared on his turtle shell, and liquid seeped out from it. The 3 beast emperors looked extremely miserable, but they were all fearless as they launched another round of attacks. On the other side, Wuchang Fairy and the Green Emperor's battle was almost the same. The spirit-devouring Emperor's body carried with it an icy aura. Its centipede-like body flickered in the air, and large patches of skin and flesh were torn open. Su Xiaoshui, the Green Emperor, and Wuchang Fairy were also seriously injured. They were being burned by Luinghong's flames, and their auras were gradually weakening. Kill! Battle cries erupted from everyone's mouths again and again. After being sent flying by the ferocious power, they once again got up and charged forward, valiant and unstoppable. Balls of light exploded in the air, and blood splattered down like a drizzle. Little handsome, Green Emperor below, Su-Yi adjusted his breathing for a while before opening his eyes. Seeing the situation above, he couldn't help but clench his fists. His cultivation was not high enough, and he was seriously injured. He was unable to fight, but when he saw that everyone was injured, Su-Yi felt as if his heart was being stabbed by a knife. In the distance, Ji Tianfu, Lin Zhenyang, Elder Nian, and the others were all shocked. The members of the Bawang sect were too ferocious in battle. It was as if they were not afraid of death. However, they could also see that Luo Cheng and Luinghong were not particularly relaxed. They were probably even more aggrieved in their hearts. As experts of the origin ancestor realm, in their eyes, Emperor realm experts were completely vulnerable. However, the members of the Bawang sect were too strong. Ordinary beast emperors had an advantage in terms of talent compared to humans. For example, the Green Emperor and other level 8 demon emperors could even crush ordinary level 9 origin emperors. In addition, Luo Qing and Lu Yinghong were seriously injured when they forcefully broke through the Li Fire Mystic Sun realm. Therefore, although they had the upper hand in the battle with the beast emperors, they were also at a great disadvantage. If this goes on, the Bawang sect will not be able to hold on. Elder Feng Qizong of the Six Unity sect swallowed a mouthful of saliva and murmured. The people of the two sects were very worried, but they couldn't do anything at this time. Even if Ji Tianfu and Lin Zhenyang, who had the highest cultivation, went forward, they wouldn't be of much help. They were completely unable to interfere in a battle of this level. What a great battle! Just as the people of the Xianjian sect and the Six Unity sect were in awe, a voice suddenly came from afar. When they turned their heads, they saw a huge bird-type savage beast approaching quickly. It was the mount of a demon emperor realm expert. On the back of the savage beast, there were a few figures standing. The person in the lead had a straight back. He was wearing a brocade robe and a jade belt. His big sleeves were swaying in the wind, revealing his valiant aura. The people behind him were also giving off the aura of an advanced origin emperor realm expert. They were extraordinary. Seeing the arrival of these people, Ji Tianfu, Lin Zhenyang, and the rest couldn't help but twitch their eyelids. They were even more worried. Hong Qianlong. It's the Big Dipper sect. They are actually here. Ji Tianfu's face darkened, and his eyes became even more solemn. This is not good. Lin Zhenyang also felt nervous, and his eyes were filled with emotions. The people of the Xianjian sect and the Six Unity sect were very clear that there was a deep grudge between the Bawang sect and the Heavenly Dipper sect. Previously, the young sect master of the Heavenly Dipper sect, Hong Jianxiu, and many young disciples had died at the hands of Su Yi. Later on, more than 10 origin emperors had died in the Bawang sect's Li Fire Mystic Yang realm. This was an undeniable grudge that could not be resolved. Chapter 1196. Ancient Ferocious Might, Everything Trembles. Under such hatred, the Heavenly Dipper sect had always wanted to get rid of the Bawang sect as soon as possible. Especially towards Su Yi, Hong Qianlong probably wanted to eat his flesh and skin him to avenge his only son. Right now, the people of the Bawang sect and the Jade Tripod sect were in the midst of a fierce battle. The sudden arrival of the Heavenly Dipper sect was definitely not a good thing. Once they made a move, the Bawang sect would definitely be in danger. They should all be emperors. No origin ancestor realm cultivators have come. Not long after, as the huge bird-type barbaric beast of the Heavenly Dipper sect approached, Ji Tianfu sensed the auras of the people on it and could not help but let out a long sigh. The Heavenly Dipper sect was a second-rate force, and there was definitely an origin ancestor realm cultivator in the sect. If such an expert came, the situation would be extremely bad. The current Xianjian sect and the Six Unity sect were not weak, but compared to the Heavenly Dipper sect, even with the two of them combined, they were not enough to be trampled on. They could not help the Bawang sect much at all. After all, Hong Qianlong was already at the half-step origin ancestor realm and was exceptionally powerful. The Heavenly Dipper sect must have come with ill intentions. Let's be careful and be ready to attack at any time. Lin Zhenyang's face was as cold as ice as he said coldly. It was not difficult for them to imagine why the Heavenly Dipper sect had come. It was true that they did not have any origin ancestor realm cultivators with them. However, if the Bawang sect situation was stabilized, they might take the opportunity to attack and kill Su Yi and the others. No matter what, since Ji Tianfu and Lin Zhenyang had come, They would definitely stand on the Bawang sect's side and be their last line of defense. This was also the reason why Su-yi had not allowed them to get involved so early. Swoosh, the huge bird-type barbaric beast stirred up a gust of wind and stopped in midair near the ore mine. Hong Qianlong glanced in the direction of the Xianjian sect and the Six Unity sect and snorted coldly. He then looked away with one hand behind his back and did not look at them anymore. In the eyes of the Heavenly Dipper sect, these two sects were not worth mentioning. In comparison, the current strength of the Xianjian sect and the Six Unity sect was far inferior to that of the Bawang sect. The Bawang sect is really strong. I can't believe that he can fight two Origin Ancestor Realm cultivators to such an extent. As they watched the battle, an elder from the Heavenly Dipper sect exclaimed in shock. They saw that Luo Cheng and Lu Yinghong were both seriously injured. This was unimaginable. A small Bawang sect could actually hold back two Origin Ancestor Realm cultivators. Today we must wipe out the Bawang sect and make them disappear from this world completely. Su-yi must be killed as soon as possible. Otherwise, as time passes, not many people will be able to suppress him. There were also people who spoke like this, incomparably cold. Everyone, including Hong Qianlong, had the same thought. Every time he saw the Bawang sect, their strength would increase tremendously. There were actually a few more powerful beast emperors and a woman at the peak of the 9th level Origin Emperor realm. He did not know how capable Su-yi was to be able to get so many experts to join the Bawang sect. At this rate of development, the Heavenly Dipper sect might not even be able to defeat them in a few years. Hong Qianlong would never allow such a thing to happen. He had to kill them in the cradle. Su-yi is over there. Soon, someone discovered Su-yi's figure sitting cross-legged on the hill. He won't be able to escape. The Bawang sect will be destroyed without a doubt. With two Origin Ancestor Realm cultivators attacking, only death awaits them. Hong Qianlong gritted his teeth as he glanced at the young man's figure. He was filled with intense hatred. That kid would definitely not be able to escape, so there was no need to attack immediately. The situation on the battlefield was already clear. The Bawang sect would definitely not be able to hold on for long. They saw two Origin Ancestor Realm powerhouses killing each other in the void, as if they were trying to conquer the world. Terrifying attacks were launched from their hands, containing a terrifying destructive power. On the other hand, the eyes of the Beast Emperors were completely bloodshot as they gritted their teeth and pounced forward. Kill! The Green Emperor and the others shouted hoarsely at the top of their lungs. The Devouring Spirit Emperor shot out an icy blue spear that pierced through Lu Yinghong's absolute territory. However, it stopped 2 feet away from him. Lu Yinghong had unknowingly taken out a huge jade cauldron and hit the Devouring Spirit Emperor's body hard. With a loud boom, the centipede-like Devouring Spirit Emperor's body was smashed into the air and landed heavily on the mountain. Large pieces of rock were shaken up and the mountain sank several feet deep. For a long time, the Devouring Spirit Emperor did not move. No one knew if he was dead or alive. Die! Lu Yinghong shouted. The jade cauldron moved in the sky and struck Immortal Wuchang's chest again, sending her flying for more than 10 miles before falling into a desolate mountain range. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the Green Emperor shot out a green beam of light that broke through the domain space and hit Lu Yinghong's left shoulder. His flesh instantly exploded, revealing his bones. Die! Lu Yinghong bellowed again. His feet moved in the void as he rushed up to the Green Emperor like a cicada. His wrinkled fists punched the Green Emperor's head one after another. Ow ow! The Green Emperor howled as his body rolled and the space trembled. Die, old dog! You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.